Moore reporting live from the liquor store. How's everybody doing, man? Hey, I know it's early. It's not even 10 o'clock where I'm at in the world, man. But it's 6 o'clock somewhere in the world, man. It gotta be 6 o'clock somewhere. So come on in, man. Come on in and enjoy the hen, my guy. The liquor store is open. I'm finna go over here get drunk on this Dallas Cowboys content, man. Consider it brunch, man. Like come in here, fix you a mimosa, fix you a drink, have you some breakfast. We're gonna chop it up about this the draft prospects at quarterback 2. And I know a lot of people love Cooper Rush, but it's an upgradable position. So we're gonna talk about it, man. It's an upgradable position, and we're gonna talk about it. So as you see at the bottom, we are still doing the Dallas Cowboy jersey raffle, $5 per entry. And we're gonna be doing it from now until the 25th. 25th is the deadline. $5 per entry, and we're gonna randomly draw somebody to receive a free Dallas Cowboy jersey of their choice, on the 25th. So if you want to get down with that, you want to get entered in, just send $5 to $Hennythemoor for an entry. But also, before I get ahead of myself, please go to the page, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to grow the channel. We're trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers at this point. Right now, we're at like 670, like 670, 667, something like that. So I appreciate all y'all for the love and the support that y'all been showing to the channel, man. Oh, we're at 669, so that's dope. So I appreciate y'all for everything, man. So without further ado, man, let's jump right into it. And y'all may be wondering, like, why I'm talking about this morning. Well, I know that the Dallas Cowboys did go out of their way and they did re-sign Cooper Rush. And I know that we did end up going 4-1 with Cooper Rush under center. But, if you look at the overall effectiveness of the offense as a whole, when Cooper Rush was under center, it left a lot to be desired. Like Cooper Rush did not play fantastic when he was our quarterback. And given the fact that Dak Prescott has missed 17 games, over the last 3 seasons, you would expect for him to miss at least a game or two this season. I do not fully expect Dak Prescott to play a full 17-game season. So it is important to have good quarterback play from your backup, and it's important to have a quarterback where you do not have to change too much of your offensive scheme, to be effective. The offense we were running with Cooper Rush under center was not the same as the one we ran with Dak Prescott. It was simplified. They took out the RPOs. They took out the quarterback runs. They changed a lot of different things, for the offense when Cooper Rush was under center. And really, that's to be expected. They do not really have a very similar play style, Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush. When you look at the things that make Dak Prescott, an effective quarterback, especially early on, it was his ability to extend plays with his legs. It was his ability to function out of play action, his ability to throw on the move, his ability to run for first downs, to be utilized as a weapon in red zone situations. So, you would like for your backup quarterback to have a similar skill set. Like you would like for your backup quarterback to be able to give you that. So you don't have to get rid of the RPOs. You don't have to get rid of the design quarterback runs or the quarterback sneaks or anything like that. Because Cooper Rush is not a very athletic quarterback. And hey, what's up with you, Demetrius Adams? I appreciate you. Yeah, man, the liquor store open early, man. Liquor store open early, man. So pull you up, a little drink. And remember, if you slap the shit out of an Eagles fan, you will get a discount inside the liquor store, my guy. So I appreciate you for pulling up, man. I appreciate you for pulling up and showing love. But yeah, like in regards to Cooper Rush, if we really just looked at his overall numbers and not the team success, right? We're not talking about team success. We understand as a starter, he was 4-1 for the Dallas Cowboys. We get that. But individually, like Cooper Rush was not very good. I'm going to show you why I believe this is a very upgradable position for us. So if you go over here, and I'm finna get ready and share this. Hey, you already know, man. That tickled you a little bit, huh? So yeah, let me get this screen shared, man. I'm finna show you what I'm talking about in terms of Cooper Rush being an upgradable position. So I'm finna click on it now, share the screen, and boom. All right. So looking at Cooper Rush's overall statistical information for the games that he played, Cooper Rush ended last season with only a 58% completion percentage, only threw for 1,051 yards, averaged under 7 yards an attempt, had only 5 touchdowns, and he had 3 interceptions. So again, like he was very, he made a couple of plays for us. He ran the offense well enough for us to stay in the game. But Cooper Rush did not play outstanding by any stretch of the imagination. So, like I said, it's an upgradable position. A lot of us get hung up, about us winning, but like his overall numbers were mediocre at best. 58% completion percentage, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. At one point, Cooper Rush was leading the NFL in turnover worthy plays. So, a lot of times they were making plays on the ball, but they weren't catching it. He was throwing balls into traffic, but it didn't end up being intercepted or anything like that. And all of that eventually came to a head in the Eagles game when they were finally able to get their hands on some of those awkward throws, and they turned them into turnovers that eventually cost us that game. So no knock on Cooper Rush. He's been in this system for a very long time. He's a very savvy veteran. Got some knowledge of the system. He appeared to be liked in the locker room, but we can get better. We can get better production, and I think that there are guys in the draft that can come in and be better suited for the offense that we want to run. And also, if we are talking about how the offense as a whole looked with Cooper Rush under center, we know that they struggled. The Dallas Cowboys with Cooper Rush as the starting quarterback were 23rd in points, 27th in total yards, 27th in passing yards, 29th in third down conversion, and 25th in points per drive. If you look at all those advanced metrics with Cooper Rush as the starting quarterback. So we can't sit here and act like that's going to be good enough, especially if we're trying to compete for a title. If Dak Prescott has to miss a game or two, we need a better quarterback play. And really, with Cooper Rush, is one-dimensional because he does not have really any athletic ability. If he cannot beat you throwing the ball, he is not going to beat you. So that is why we're going to take a look at some of these draft prospects and see if we can find a suitable replacement for Cooper Rush. And listen, the pressure this year is not going to be on the backup quarterback to beat out Cooper Rush for the backup job. But like they should come in and be better than Will Levi, and then by training camp, they should be competing for that number 2 spot. So we're gonna look at quarterbacks who have a similar draft profile to what Dak Prescott had coming out. Right, we want somebody that is comparable to Dak Prescott. We want a strong, mobile quarterback who can make plays on the move and extend plays. That is who Dak Prescott is. That is the best version of Dak Prescott. So, we want to find, a quarterback too that can do similar things as to what he did coming into the league. So, just for reference, man, let me show y'all something. We're gonna take a quick look at Dak Prescott's draft profile, just for comparison. For comparison's sake, we're gonna take a look at Dak Prescott's draft profile. Okay. I'm finna get this shared. Hold on. So this was Dak Prescott's draft profile coming out, his strengths. Said powerful, well-built frame, meant to withstand punishment, flashes ability to throw a tight spiral when his mechanics are under control, good calm pocket presence, will step up to evade pressure and keep eyes downfield. When base is sound, can drive the ball into tight windows with excellent velocity. Strong frame that stands tall in the pocket despite pressure. This is the one. Mobility to escape the pocket and extend plays when needed, always keeping eyes downfield. Works through progressions while staying calm in the pocket. Gets rid of the football quickly, efficiently, without taking undue punishment. Can move a defense with his eyes and mobility, creating windows for receivers where there were none. Strong runner in the open field. It is tough to bring down. Physical, competitive, physically and mentally tough. Heralded throughout college ranks for his maturity, character, and leadership abilities. Extremely hard worker who has made strides every year. So we're going to look for quarterbacks. And listen, I'm not going to even look at quarterbacks in the top rounds. Dak Prescott himself was a 4th-round pick. We're going to look at later round picks, you know, with similar athletic ability, similar builds, and similar production, and see if we can get these guys in the later rounds. Right. So that's the idea. We're going to look for maybe a Dak Prescott replacement. Not a Dak Prescott replacement, but we're going to look for a guy that could be a mini Dak. We're going to look for a guy that can emulate Dak Prescott if he's out there on the field. So bear with me. All right. Hold on. I'm finna get this pulled up. Remove source. All right. So let's go do our homework, man. We're going to go to the 2023 draft, and we're going to look at some of these late round dual threat quarterbacks. Okay. And we're going to start with somebody that I have a lot of respect for his game, Dorian Thompson-Robinson from UCLA. Now, I really like Doe. Jerry and Press. Yeah, like Jerry said he liked Max Duggan. I'm not a fan of Max Duggan. Like, I think he's decent enough to be a backup, but I think there are better options. I think there's better options than Max Duggan. I think he just has the name. He's from TCU. They probably watched a lot of his games, this, that, and the third. So, you know, I think they're comfortable with Max Duggan, but I don't think that Max Duggan is really the guy that I would want. I think like Dorian is more of what I would look for. And I've been wrong before. Don't get me wrong. Like just because I say it does not mean that it's the absolute truth. But I think that Dorian has more upside at the NFL level than Max Duggan does. But when you talk about Doe, he's 6'2", 203 pounds. Played his college career at UCLA. For the season last year, he had a 107.2 quarterback rating. Yards, he threw for 3,154. Completion percentage was 69.6%, which is excellent. At any level, that's very excellent. He threw for 27 passing touchdowns to only 10 interceptions. Right? So here, another thing you like, he has real good mobility. He ended up running a 4.56. He was good in his shuttle time with a 4.44. So like he's a pretty damn good athlete. And right now he's currently ranked as an undrafted free agent. So he would be like a 7th-round pick at the earliest, similar to Max Duggan, because Max Duggan has a 7th-round grade. All right. So this is the strengths according to this particular scouting report. It said that he gets the ball out quickly, making split-second decisions, good short to intermediate level accuracy, demonstrating the ball placement to allow receivers to run after the catch. All right, so that's good because you want a quarterback, especially if you're going to come into the West Coast offense, to be able to get the ball to a receiver where they can run after the catch. Yak is going to be a big part of what we do here. Physically, Thompson Robinson is a natural athlete who plays with balance and light feet to float in the pocket. He's a pure athlete, loose-limbed and flexible. Thompson Robinson has the speed to pick up yardage in scramble situations. And that's true. Game footage says he's fast. He ran a 4.5 at the combine. So yes, that is true. He looks fast on tape and he's fast, when they tested for it. He's good enough as a runner to work read option plays, keeping backside defenders in place. And that is also one of the things that I am looking for. I know that we have done it less and less as the years have progressed with Dak Prescott, but being able to run these quarterback read options, being able to run these designed quarterback runs, they were very beneficial to us, especially in the red zone. So I would like for my backup quarterback to be able to do so. Like, there should be a prerequisite. Like, any quarterback that I draft should have enough athletic ability to be a threat in the red zone for me, like Dak Prescott is. Because even though, things have broken down around Dak, he still is the franchise leader in rushing touchdowns at the quarterback position. Has been so for several years at this point. And, even though they don't call it often, he still can walk into into the end zone for an easy touchdown from time to time when they call it. So I would like I like the fact that he's able to do that as well. All right. Good, not elite arm strength, and can easily make all the NFL throws with effortless deep passes. Ball placement is a strength. Thompson Robinson has the natural instinct to make plays when forced to improvise. And that's what I'm looking for, man. That's exactly what I'm looking for, in terms of somebody that can come in and extend plays, make plays when the pocket break down, run for first down, run for touchdowns. So Dorian Thompson Robinson, he checks all the boxes with that. And again, like, he's a late round pick, so there's going to be some negatives to it. So let's talk about it. His weaknesses: very ordinary arm, though there's room for improvement with better technique. Lacks strength to stretch the field horizontally or vertically. Throws too many passes flat-footed or without his feet being set. Thompson Robinson has a bad habit of fading and throwing off his back foot when the pocket gets muddled, and Thompson Robinson is too often all-arm when throwing on the move, sacrificing accuracy. Inconsistent downfield passer and puts too much air under his throws. So really, when they're talking about the things that Thompson Robinson needs to improve in his game, man, that's a lot of stuff that is mechanical, right? Because, like, even Dak Prescott, he came in, won Rookie of the Year, did this and did that, but he still did not have the best mechanics, when he was a raw prospect playing as a rookie his first couple of years in the league. Like, Dak Prescott has completely changed his throwing motion from when he originally got into the league up to this point right now. So, it is very possible for a guy like Thompson Robinson to get better in his passing mechanics. Because, a lot of it isn't necessarily arm strength. When you're throwing the ball, you're using a lot of your lower leg, you're using the torque that your hips create to add zip to your passes. So, if he gets with a good quarterback coach, or he sits behind Dak and see his routines and see how he works on his mechanics, I think that's an area that he can improve on as well as a passer. But when you're talking just about raw athletic ability, production, playing well in college, he checks those boxes easily. And what I'm going to do now is what I've been getting into a habit of doing, is I'm going to show some of his highlights. I don't have all 22 film cranked up for Dorian Thompson Robinson, but we're gonna just look some of his best plays from college. We're gonna set that down. We're gonna watch some of his plays from college, and then I'll get y'all opinion on it. So we're finna watch some of his highlights, man. And I'll just see how y'all feel about the boy. Because I think he's a damn good prospect. See, he already on the move, getting out of the pocket. Big run, actually. Now, I'm not sure how many of these runs will translate to the NFL level, because everybody in the NFL is bigger, stronger, faster, because they all were great athletes in college themselves. But, he's a very mobile quarterback. He's a good runner. And in terms of accuracy, like he completed almost 70% of his passes this year. They're under 70% of his passes this year. So yeah, I really like Dorian Thompson-Robinson. And when you look at him play, man, like you can see a little bit of Dak Prescott in his game. I'm not saying that he's going to come in and become Dak Prescott, but they have a very similar play style when you compare what Dak Prescott did in college to what Dorian did at UCLA. Now, of course, Dak Prescott, was a guy was a Heisman candidate. He led his team to the number 1 seed for the first time in program history. So like he had a better college career than Dorian, because I think Dorian is barely over 500 as a starter. But like in terms of play style, in terms of production, like Dorian is a very good prospect to want to have. And again, like these are just highlights. This is not an all 22 film breakdown. We're not going to go into the ins and outs. We're just going to talk about some of the things that's going to get him drafted, because I do think he'll end up being like a 7th round or a 6th round pick. So, he has some very good upside. Because remember, a lot of the things that they are knocking him for are mechanical. Like they say that he strolls with too much of his arm sometimes. Like he doesn't have like the torque in his lower body consistently. And those things that you can work on. Like, that's why your coaches get paid. They get paid to help you fix issues you may have, mechanically. Because he has a good enough arm as it is to make the NFL throws. There's still room of improvement for that. But the athleticism, the ability as a runner, those are things that you cannot teach. He's 6'2", runs a 4.5. And he can be used as an option quarterback. And he does the things that I want our backup to be able to do. No, knock against Cooper Rush. No disrespect to him, but he's not an athlete. And, they had to change a lot of the concepts that they wanted to use when he was under center. You didn't see the RPOs. You didn't see the quarterback draws. You didn't see the design quarterback runs. You really didn't see the too many bootlegs. So, we're looking, and if you're late coming into the channel, we're talking about upgrading over, Cooper Rush. We're trying to get a quarterback that plays more closely to Dak Prescott. Because of Dak Prescott's injury history, missing 17 games in the last 3 seasons, I need to have somebody that can come in and we don't have to change anything on the offense. So they need to be able to run play action. They need to be able to extend plays with their legs. They need to be able to run the RPO. And they need to be a legitimate threat to keep the ball on the RPO. So that is why we're looking at my board of Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Played at UCLA. Completed damn near 70% of his passes this year. So like he is a very intriguing prospect from his raw athletic ability. And he has a lot of room to grow as a passer. Like he could theoretically, if he clean up his mechanics, he can be a much better passer. Because it's not anything physical. Like he has a strong enough arm to make all the NFL level throws. But he just had to clean up. He just had to clean some stuff up. Remember, you're not going to be a late round pick and you're coming in as a ready-made prospect. But man, when you just take a look at some of these plays that he's making with his leg, I really think some of this stuff can translate. A lot of this stuff can translate. So far, what are y'all thoughts about Big Doe? Honestly, I would prefer Dorian, over Max Duggan. Max is going to be another guy that we look at, because while I do not think that he is that good of a player like everybody makes him out to be. I do definitely believe, that he could come in and develop into a serviceable backup over Cooper Rush. So we're going to talk about Max Duggan, after we finish this little dive into Dorian Robinson. But yeah, he making plays, man. He making plays. He making second. And listen, some of the highlights I like. I know, like some of these runs are not going to be like 30 and 40 yards at the NFL level. Right? We understand that, because everybody at the NFL level is faster, with the woo, stronger, so on and so forth. But, one thing we can say for sure, is that he's a good enough athlete to run and get you 10 yards. He's a good enough athlete to be used in the red zone. He's a good enough athlete you have to respect him, the threat of him keeping the ball on RPOs, that it will freeze up, linebackers and defensive ends and things along those lines. So Dorian Thompson-Robinson is definitely a candidate for me to come in and be, a upgrade over quarterback 2. Maybe not even this year, but down the line, like, he can definitely take over for Cooper Rush. So next guy we're going to look at, because we just looked at the board, we're going to look at Max Duggan. He's a very popular name. That's why I didn't want to start with him. But, the Dallas Cowboys have been very vocal about their like for him. Jerry Jones has been very vocal about wanting to ascertain the talents of Max Duggan. And even though I do not think he is this world beater at the quarterback position, and I think there are better prospects, we're gonna talk about the boy Max Duggan real quick. I think this is probably like my third time pulling up his stuff. But let's talk about Max Duggan. Quarterback from TCU. So I'm finna get everything pulled up, man. Oops. Wrong button. All right. I got a scouting report pulled back up, man, and we're finna just chop it up about the boy. He really has a similar height and weight to Doe. He's 6'2", 207 pounds. Had a quarterback rating of 109.5 last year. Threw for 3,698 yards. Had a completion percentage of 63.7. Passed for 32 touchdowns to only 8 interceptions. And he also is a pretty damn good athlete. He also ran a 4.5 at the combine. So, like, he has the athletic ability that we're seeking. And he is now a projected 7th round pick. He is also a very late round pick. I know he's being talked about a lot in the national media, but he also has a very low letter grade. All right, so go down here. These are his strengths. Super tough signal caller who will play through injuries. He's got a sturdy frame and a strong arm, which will fit well in the pros. Able to extend the play and escape the rush in an effort to buy time. Uses his eyes well to keep safeties at bay. Although probably needs to do this more often. Athletic quarterback who is a threat to lead the pocket and gain positive yardage at any time. And again, like, that is exactly what I'm looking at. I'm looking at late round quarterbacks who have athletic ability and some upside. We're not going to probably draft a quarterback in the top 100. We're probably a couple players away from making a legit, push, for contending. Like, remember, we were only a couple of plays away from making it to the NFC Championship game last year. So, I don't think that they'll go to the extremes of bringing in like a top 100 quarterback. I think they're going to use their top 100 picks to get guys that could possibly play sooner rather than later. So we're on the back end looking at guys that can at least take Cooper Rush's job. Jaron Hall from BYU, go look at him too. Yeah, we actually looked at him yesterday, Hoodlum. Like, he was one of the guys we pulled up. I'll look at him again because he does fit the same bill that we're talking about. So yeah, I definitely will look at him. He said, sounds like Bryce Young. What was delusional, Eastside? Because we were like, did we not go? Did it not come down to the final play in the San Francisco 49ers game, despite losing Tony Pollard and everything else that happened? So we only lost by what, 7 points, 6.7 points. We only lost by a score. So yeah, we were a couple of plays away from going to the NFC Championship game last year. So that's not hyperbole. But yeah, Max Duggan is a guy that can do the things that we want. He can be an RPO quarterback at the next level. He's fast enough that you got to respect it. Red zone threat, just like Dak Prescott. So we're checking the boxes right now. Gets the ball out quickly, making split second decisions. Good to short to intermediate level accuracy, demonstrating the ball placement to allow receivers to run after catch. And remember, if you put your receivers in position to get yak, you will be okay in this. You will be okay in this West Coast offense. All right. Also, it says good, not elite arm strength. Yeah, plays with comfortable demeanor and had the athleticism to move out of the pocket and create plays out of structure. All right, so these are his weaknesses. His mechanics lack any kind of refinement, and he often plays erratically. Has only average long accuracy on his passes and regularly displays poor footwork. Too often stares down his receivers, leading to picks. Duggan often holds the ball too long while he keeps his eyes up while moving. His mechanics get increasingly sloppy once he's pushed off his spot. Has struggled with his decision making and needs to improve his pre-snap recognition skills to read defenses and see blitzes. Doesn't decipher the information as quickly as you would like, but does see the entire field and understands coverage. Probably not big enough to consistently hold up at the next level if he continues to play with reckless abandon. So those are the things that they said about him. Boys, proud as fuck of you. Hey, I appreciate you, cuz. I appreciate you for the love, my boy. Yeah, man. I'm out here trying to do something with kinfolk. Yeah, Eastside a Cowboy fan, man. We got love for Eastside though, man. He always coming over, showing love to the liquor store, coming over, getting drunk with us, man. Then listen, Texans, they're going to probably get a pretty good quarterback. Like Bryce Young is him. I just hope they don't screw it up. I hope they don't screw it up. Well, they don't have a choice, right? They gonna have to get the second quarterback now anyway, because if I'm not mistaken, so you gotta plug me in. Hey, hit my inbox, man. Hit my inbox, man. We're gonna chop it up about some business, my boy. Also, speaking of business, man, I'm going to the draft next month. I already took off for the days that everything lined out, and we're gonna be doing a raffle up to that point. It's $5 per entry. If you send $5, you will be into a raffle to receive a Dallas Cowboy jersey of your choice. The winner gets to decide the player and the size. All you got to do is send $5 to the cash app of $Hennythemoor, and you will receive an entry. On the 25th, which is the day before I leave out to go to Kansas City, we will do the raffle show, and one person will be selected randomly. So the only rules, you can only send donations while I am live. Don't send any donations while I'm not live. I do want transparency during this whole process. So if you send $5, you'll be entered into the raffle, and we will select the winner of the Dallas Cowboy jersey on the 25th. Hey, JC Cowboys Network, what's up with you, man? I appreciate you for coming over and showing love to the channel, my boy. I appreciate it. But yeah, man, like Max Duggan, and this is the thing. All these guys are going to be low round picks. All these guys have room for improvement. All these guys have things that they need to clean up. Because if they didn't have all these issues, they would be higher in the draft, right? They would probably be second round or third round picks, things along those lines, right? So we all know that they have some issues. Tommy Montoya, what's up with you, man? Good morning to y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for waking up and jumping into the liquor store, my guy. So go ahead, fix you a mimosa. We'll get you some brunch. We're finna dive right into this Cowboy content, man. We've been rocking for a little bit, but we gonna keep going, man. Like I said, I'm on vacation, so I had to come over and show some love to y'all, man. I had to come over and show some love to y'all, get y'all drunk this morning off this content. So yeah, so like Max Duggan has his warts, but it's the same thing with the board we just looked at. If it's mechanical, we can deal with it. The only knocks on him is that he plays wild and he needs to fix his mechanics. Like Dak Prescott was not a defined passer when he came out of college, and he actually showed that he can improve year to year in college, because he was not the passer that he was as a freshman that he ended up being as a senior. So as long as you have the work ethic to want to improve, you can come over to the Dallas Cowboys, especially if we're not depending on you to actually start. Good morning, HTM. What we drinking on this morning at the liquor store? Hey, man, we still drinking Eagle Tears right now, man. We drinking Eagle Tears and Hennessy. Like, we still got bottles of that shit. So yeah, man, that's what we drinking this morning. Said TCU as a whole was overrated, probably so. But him as a prospect to want to come over, he has more upside than Cooper Rush does. And that's really what we're looking for right now. We're not looking for a Dak Prescott replacement, but we are looking to upgrade over quarterback 2. And since we're looking to upgrade over quarterback 2, we are going to look at guys who have similar play styles to the quarterback that we have as a starter. If Dak Prescott is a guy that can run the read option, I need my backup quarterback to be able to run the read option. If Dak Prescott is going to be a guy who's going to run naked bootlegs, well, damn it, I need my backup quarterback to be able to do that as well. Hey, what's good, Jazzy Jeff? I appreciate you for coming over to the liquor store and showing love, my guy. I appreciate you for the support. So, you know how we do it. We just looked at, his draft profile. We're going to make him look good for a second, man. We're going to make him look good for just a couple of seconds. We're going to look at some of his highlights from playing at TCU. We're going to look at some of the reasons why he got drafted. Remember, I always say this before I play every video. This is not all 22 film. Like, this is not a breakdown of why people are getting open, why this and that happened. These are just highlights of some of the best plays that he made. So do not use this as the end all be all. This is not the end all be all for anything. So boom. This is just to show you some of the things that he did well, and to show you why people are high on him to even get drafted. So we're gonna look at some of these, and then we're gonna go from there. All right, so these are going to be highlights from Max Duggan from his senior year at TCU. And you're going to see some of the things that I like about him. I think there's better prospects to come in and be our backup, especially as late as he's going to get taken. But he still matches the archetype. You see, read option, kept the ball, got the edge, made a play. And we know with the 4.5 speed, like, this is going to be able to translate. He ran a 4.5 at the combine, so that is some stuff that will translate for us. Now, some of these plays he's making in the passing game, they're inconsistent. Like, we already know that he's not the world's greatest passer. So even though he makes a couple of plays down the field here and there, like, that is not a strength of his. More so, what I like about him is the things that he does in the red zone. These quarterback keepers, like, those are the things that I like, because that's what Dak Prescott made his money doing. And listen, he's a good enough passer right now to where it's an argument. Because remember, Cooper Rush completed under 60% of his passes. He completed under 60% of his passes. So if we're going to get erratic if we're gonna get erratic passes from a backup quarterback, I will at least want a guy that can also give me something in the run game as well. But Cooper Rush does not even have that for him. A lot of people were saying that Cooper Rush was accurate. He only completed 58% of his passes. That is not accurate. So if we're going to get erratic passing from a backup quarterback, I at least want a guy who can come in and give me something extra in the run game as well. And yes, his skill set does fit the West Coast offense. But right now, like I really do think though that Dorian Thompson Robinson will eventually be a better player at the next level than Max Duggan. But Max Duggan is a good enough candidate for us to take the time to look at. Appreciate you, Mr. Kima. Also, if you have not entered into the raffle, just send $5 to the Cash App $Hennythemoor and you will be entered. So while you're all on here, I'm going to actually give an update to the standings in the raffle. Right now, in regards to the raffle for the free Dallas Cowboy jersey of your choice, Michael McQuay has the most entries. He has 5. DC for Life is next up. He has 4. Dwayne Brown is third. He has 3. Action Pal, Marquetta, Daisy Clark, Michael Lockhart all have 2. Desmond Ironman has 1. Tupac with a Mohawk has 1, and D Lunatic has 1. So right now, Michael McQuay has the best odds of winning the jersey because he has the most entries. Noah is a number 4 wide receiver. That's not a bad thing. Cooks will be a number 3 and sometimes a number 2 on our team, which is dangerous. Yeah, and listen, like if we're being honest and we're looking at the overall body of work of what Brandon Cooks did in the NFL compared to Michael Gallup, like he has had a much better career than Michael Gallup has. Like he is actually the guy that was a number 1 receiver for multiple years. He had 6 1,000-yard seasons, and he just had a 1,000-yard season a year ago. He didn't have one in 2022, but he did have one in 2021. And listen, he was good enough to be the number 1 on 2 teams that made it to the Super Bowl. So you're just talking about pedigree and what you've done in the NFL. It's obvious that Brandon Cooks, is probably going to start the season as the real number 2. Michael Gallup has not produced in the last 2 years because of injury. So, like, he is the guy that I trust the least out of the big 3 on my wide receiving core. So that was some highlights from Max Duggan, man. Those were some highlights from Max Duggan. So again, like raw prospect, but he has the athletic ability you're looking for in a quarterback too. Like remember, like all these guys I'm looking at have to be able to run. Dak Prescott can run, so my backup quarterback needs to be able to run. RPOs, being utilized as a red zone threat, running for first downs, you need to be able to do that. Like when Cooper Rush came in, we lost all of that. We lost that. And our offense looked different because of it. So what do y'all think? Out of the 2 guys I've shown you so far, who would y'all prefer? Would you prefer a Dorian Thompson Robinson, who had, a better completion percentage, but did not have the overall team success? Or would you prefer Max Duggan, who is the guy who played at TCU, who wouldn't have to travel far to get here, who the Dallas Cowboys are high on? Who do y'all prefer? Put it in the chat box, man. Do you prefer Dorian Thompson Robinson, or do you prefer somebody like Max Duggan? I want to get y'all opinions on the matter. I'm just curious because I already told y'all who I like. He said, facts, bro. Brandon Cooks makes defenders overthink, especially when he's running routes from off the line of scrimmage. You can't stack the box with those threats on the outside. You have to respect it. Yes, and then if the versatility that Brandon Cooks brings, like him and CeeDee Lamb are both viable options to line up inside of the slot. So, like it's going to be hard, especially if you do not have a very good nickel backer. Like you could rotate those guys out. You can put CeeDee Lamb in the slot and he can work over the nickel backer. You could put Brandon Cooks in the slot, and he can work over the nickel backer. And Michael Gallup can still be your possession receiver on the outside. So it's a very unique pairing that we have. We have two guys that can function on both the outside, and in the slot position. So I like that tandem. Tommy Montoya said he likes Max Duggan. So there's nothing wrong with him. And remember, like all these guys are going to have similar draft profiles. All the guys. So I remember my boy Hoodlum said he wanted to look at Jaren Hall. We're gonna look at Jaren Hall next, man. And he is also a guy with some good upside. But let's just take a look. All right, I got him loaded up. Now we're just gonna open it up and take a look. All right, this is the boy Jaren Hall, quarterback from BYU. I remember him because they played Arkansas this year, so I am familiar with him. And statistically, he had a pretty damn good season, right? If you look over here at the things that he did, during his junior year, he had a quarterback rating of 113. He threw for 3,171 yards. He had a completion percentage of 66%, 31 passing touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. He also had a pretty decent 40 time of 4.6. So, he's pretty decent, man. Hey, good morning, Regina Green. I appreciate you for coming over and showing love to the liquor store. All right. Hey, shout out to Jeffrey Watson for the $10 donation. That just got you 2 entries into the drawing for the jersey. So let me go ahead and put your stuff in. Jeffrey. All right, so Jeffrey now has 2. So just to give you an update on this before I get back to the actual content, Michael McQuay has 5 entries. DC for Life has 4 entries. Dwayne Brown has 3. Action Pal, Marquetta, Daisy Clark, Michael Lockhart, and Jeffrey all have 2. And then Desmond Ironman, Tupac with a Mohawk, and the Lunatic all have 1. So that's the updates on the raffle entries, if y'all were wondering. But yeah, man, like I like him. So like Jaren Hall is a guy with some good upside. If I'm not mistaken, he has not played a lot of quarterback though. He has not played a lot of the quarterback position. But, he played well enough to be considered a 5th round prospect. So let's take a look. These are his strengths. He is a former baseball player, and it shows in his fastball delivery. Seems to have a natural affinity for the position. So even as a first-year quarterback, he looked composed. Physically, Hall is a natural athlete who plays with the balance and light feet to float in the pocket. So he can move around pretty decently, right? Hall is enough of a threat as a runner to earn the respect from backside defenders at the next level, opening opportunities for running backs. Good accuracy overall, including excellent accuracy on short timing routes to backs and receivers. And that's the kind of stuff you're going to have to do consistently in the West Coast offense. I keep harking back to its nickname. They call it the long handoff. And in the West Coast offense, you're going to throw a lot of checkdowns to the running backs. You're going to hit a lot of wide receivers on in-breaking routes, horizontal routes. So if he has good accuracy and timing on those routes, he will be fine. So those are little basic concepts that they like to run. Right? Good accuracy overall. Okay, I already said that. Possesses a strong right arm and is capable of making every NFL throw easily. Can drive the deep out to the sideline from the opposite hash and has no problem threading the needle between closing defenders. Easily zips to all areas of the field, demonstrating very good touch on underneath routes to running backs and receivers, as well as down the sideline on deep passes. Dual threat quarterback with athletic footwork and mobility. An instinctive runner with very good toughness, uses stiff arms and runs with good body strength. Is a composed player with the ability to quickly read the defense and works through his reads quickly. Right? Okay. Accurate and has the touch to deliver the ball where only his receivers can catch it. Patient in the pocket and does not take off too early and bail out on early plays. So that's good. He has some development, in his patience in the pocket. A lot of times, players will not have their first read open and then they will try to immediately take off and run. At the next level, that is not the ideal thing. You want to try to get through your progressions, and then if there's nothing there, you want to try and make a play happen with your leg if need be. So given the fact that he's already there in his development, that's cool. Hey, what's up with you, man? Hey, the original people, what's up, my guy? I appreciate you for coming over and showing love, my boy. Hey, if you have not already joined, my guy, we're doing a jersey raffle. If you send $5, you'll get entered into the raffle. Whoever wins the raffle will get a Dallas Cowboy jersey of their choosing. And we're going to do the drawing on the 25th. So you ain't already joined, go ahead and take the time to do so. Man, you get a chance to win a jersey. I don't have to spend a couple dollars to do so. So let's see. But yeah, man, like just going off of athletic ability and the fact that he's already there in his maturity not to just take off at the first time of trouble, you got to like that. So, that's probably why he's a little bit higher than guys like Dorian Thompson Robinson and Max Duggan on this site. Probably that pocket maturity. So these are his weaknesses. He has under average height at just 6'1", and he's only 205 pounds. He may lack the bulk to stay healthy at the next level and has a checkered injury history. So that would do it too, right? He hasn't really played a lot of football. He's clearly more effective when on the move, and many of his reads were half field. But, that's not necessarily a knock. We saw a lot of that with Jalen Hurts this year. While he was making reads, it was not a sideline to sideline progression type of reads that he was making, especially early on in the season. His arm strength is decent, but not elite. Accuracy becomes an issue when he's unable or unwilling to set his feet. So mechanical, we can work on that. Bad habit of fading and throwing off his back foot when the pocket gets muddled, and he is too often all arm. And again, that is going to be mechanical. Like that's what you got quarterback coaches for, to help you be better with your mechanics, to help you be better with your footwork, so on and so forth. And then when we're talking about age, I don't usually use age as a knock. He's not going to come over here and try to be the starting quarterback anyway. Right? He is like, we're looking at quarterbacks to replace Cooper Rush, so age is not going to be an issue. If anything, like having a prospect who's already mature enough to come into the NFL, get to work, pick up the offense, and try to develop, that is, more of a plus for me. James Simmons, what's up with you, man? Appreciate you for coming over, showing love. Appreciate that. Hey, Freight Train, what's good, my boy? I appreciate you for coming over, showing love to the channel, man. I know a lot of us say we would rather go for Hooker, but that dude going to... Hey, he got that boy got a lot of upside. Like, if he did not tear his ACL, it would be unquestioned that he would be a first-round pick. It would be unquestioned that he would be a first-round pick. So if he did not have that injury, like Hendon Hooker would definitely have been one of the first quarterbacks off the board. Because I think he's better than Will Levi. I think he's proven as a passer that he's a more proven passer than guys like Anthony Richardson. So if he was not injured, I think he would probably be the third quarterback off the board because I think Bryce Young would still went ahead of him. I think that C.J. Stroud would have still went ahead of him. But I think if he did not have that injury, Hendon Hooker would have been the third quarterback off the board, in my opinion. I could have been wrong about that, but I still think that he'll end up being a first round pick. Like somebody like the Vikings, right? That they still got a year of Kirk Cousins, but they're not really trying to re-up on his contract. I think they would take a guy like Hendon Hooker, have him redshirt this season, and then they'll have a quarterback in place once they don't resign Kirk Cousins. So I definitely think he goes out in the first round because there's a bunch of teams that he makes too much sense for, like teams that have veteran quarterbacks on aspiring contracts. If the Dallas Cowboys weren't so vocal about already wanting to re-up Dak Prescott, he might have even been an option for us. But I don't think that you can take a quarterback with a top 100 pick and then you still have the option of paying your own quarterback. Because the worst thing that we could do as a franchise is we draft a quarterback like first round or second round, right? And then Dak Prescott goes crazy. Like, what if we draft Hendon Hooker and we actually win the Super Bowl with Dak Prescott? Or Dak Prescott actually like wins the MVP or something or makes an all-pro selection? Then there's no way in hell you can move on from Dak Prescott. Right, so like we're in a situation where it's not even wise for us to take a top 100 quarterback. He said, "I'm with Coach Moore. We're gonna draft a backup. I like the kid from UCLA. Definitely needs grooming, but but this the thing. Like everybody that we've been naming is gonna need grooming. Like I like Dorian. I like Dorian Thompson Robinson. Matter of fact, DP. I don't know if you were in here. We just looked at the boy. We looked at him first." Then we looked at him, we looked at Max Duggan, then we looking at the boy Jaron Hall. He said, "What's the first pick position do you want the Cowboys to draft first?" My guy, I believe it's all good, DP. I went, hey, you didn't get in late. I just came in early. I already done, restocked the shelves. I already done slapped the shit out of a couple of Eagles fans, brushed my teeth. Pulled up. So like I'm just early, man. And I'm divided because I'm leaning towards offensive line now that I had a change of heart. I'd have had a change of heart because I would be in the table for just strictly best player available. But I'm hoping that the best. I'm put it like this. I'm hoping that the best player available when we pick at 26 is the offensive lineman, so it's an easy choice. Because I think that Jalen Tolbert, can take the next step and be your wide receiver 3. Like I think that Jalen Tolbert can take the next step. Because I did a show not too long ago. Jameson Taylor, what's up with you, man? Welcome to the liquor store. Appreciate you coming over, showing love, my boy. So, man, like I just did a show like the other day, and we were getting reacquainted with Jalen Tolbert. And man, this guy over his last 2 seasons in the league, in the NCAA, I think that he had like almost 2,600 yards receiving. He had 16 touchdowns. Like he was a dog. And when you look at his measurements and the production that he had, he's 6'3", he ran a 4.4. If he was a prospect this year, I think we would be drooling over him. Like there were a lot of people that were drooling over him last year. So, because he's going to be playing in such a pass-friendly offense, if Michael Gallup mess around and gets dinged, I think Jalen Tolbert can come in, have an immediate impact, and it might be curtain for Michael Gallup. So I don't even necessarily think we should even be looking at a wide receiver in the first couple of rounds because like there's not a bunch of guys coming out that had the kind of production that Jalen Tolbert had. like listen, like Michael Gallup has not looked good the past 2 seasons. Michael Gallup, he's been battling injury the last 2 seasons. He's been under 500 yards 2 seasons in a row. He's only had like a handful of touchdowns each season. So really, like, and especially from like a money standpoint, the Dallas Cowboys would prefer for Jalen Tolbert to take over for Michael Gallup because they still have an out in Michael Gallup's contract next year. They still have an out on his contract next year. So if he doesn't play up the par this season, they can go in, they can cut him, and they can save some money next season with very little dead money hit. And then Jalen Tolbert, as a what was he, a 3rd-round pick, he's not gonna make a lot of money on that rookie deal. So yeah, they can get cheaper there. So I think they're really rooting for Jalen Tolbert to take that spot. And then when you have different guys in this year's draft, you got Trey Palmer, who might end up being a 4th or 5th-round pick. You got guys like my guy Matt Landers, who might be a 5th or 6th-round pick. There's a lot of options for like a 4th wide receiver in the draft. So like I can really see Michael Gallup getting pushed out. Cause think about it, Michael Gallup is your most expensive wide receiver. Like he's making more money than CeeDee Lamb this year because you restructured Brandon Cooks. Like he making more money than Brandon Cooks is. So Michael Gallup is your most expensive wide receiver at this moment in time. He's probably your 3rd best guy right there. Dwayne Brown, what's good with you, my guy? I appreciate you for coming over, showing love to the liquor store. I said, I think MG, as much as I love to do, his best scenario is to play well enough during preseason that someone offers a trade for him. I don't think it goes well for him if he stays much longer. And that's the thing. The Dallas Cowboys won't trade him because if you get rid of him this year and you just restructured him, you get rid of him this year, it's gonna be a big dead money hit. That's why the actual out where like the guaranteed money and stuff is gone, you don't own that much is next year. So a trade or a cut is not gonna happen till next offseason. Because the Dallas Cowboys don't want to eat that kind of money. So that's where I think it is. Like I don't even think that he has the option of even getting traded because they ain't finna hurt the cap doing that either. So yeah, we looked at Jaren Hall. And listen, we're only looking at guys who have athletic ability and can do the things that Dak Prescott do. Maybe not at the level that he does, but they need to have that in their repertoire. The RPO, the bootlegs, the ability to extend plays and throw on a run. Like your backup quarterback needs that. Because remember, we were just talking about what Cooper Rush did not do. He only completed 58% of his passes. Right. He only had five passing touchdowns. He threw 3 interceptions. The offense under him was 23rd in points, 27 in total yards, 27 in passing yards, 29th on 3rd down conversion, and 25th in points per drive. So that is definitely an area for improvement. I know people get caught up with the 4-1 record, but that is a team accomplishment. I need actual better quarterback play for my backup quarterback, especially with Dak Prescott having a bit of an injury history the last couple of years. So, that's why we're looking at mobile backup quarterbacks in the later rounds. So far, we have looked at Dorian Thompson-Robinson. We have looked at Max Duggan. And we have looked at Jaren Hall, who is another late quarterback prospect that fits this mold. Have to be a mobile quarterback. Who was another guy that y'all want me to look at? MG13 had a bum dropped on him when CD failed in the draft. We kind of forgot about him until he started getting paid after injury. I think he may need to go somewhere where he can be top 2, get losses 3 and 4. This is the thing, right? Because he's had opportunities to be everything. Because remember, as a rookie, like they were waiting for him to develop into the number 1. It didn't happen, and they traded for CeeDee Lamb. right? The only year you can say that he played number 2 and lived up to the expectations was in 2019. 2019, he was the legitimate number 2, even with Randall Cobbs there, and he ended up with 1,100 yards. 2020, he was the no, like he was supposed to be the number 2, but CeeDee Lamb outplayed him as a rookie. 2021, he got injured. 2022, he was still injured. So, like he hasn't, outside of the 2019 season, he has not lived up to what the Dallas Cowboys put on him. Not necessarily lived up to his draft position. My mom just told me to come on and just drove off from the house. Oh, wow. Well, you might as well stay with us, brother. I say we up here chopping it. It's all love, man. Like we got it. We got you. We gonna chop it up. We gonna rock out, my boy. I say we ain't gonna leave you. We're here with you. So just chop it up with us, man. We're gonna stay on here for quite a while. Yep, an injury can affect the way any player performs. Let's give Gallup a chance under the West Coast offense. He's gonna get a chance, but I'm not sure you're gonna get a fair chance. Because, hey, B Bird, what's good, my boy? I appreciate you for coming over and showing love to the show. Because you got to think about it. Look at it from not from our perspective. Because I think we all have a little bit of love and leniency for Michael Gallup. Because we do understand that injuries are part of the game. But look at it from Jerry Jones' perspective. Michael Gallup is your highest paid wide receiver, regardless of injury. Right? He's getting a lot of guaranteed money. He's getting a lot of this and a lot of that. He does not have the same kind of leeway, that we give him from the front office. They paid him and they expected a return on their investment. They betted on him coming back from that injury and being stronger. Right? It may not have been realistic, but that's what they were betting on. So when you look up and CeeDee Lamb has turned into an all-pro. You look up, you had to trade away an asset to bring in Brandon Cooks because Michael Gallup was underperforming, right? When you think about it from that perspective and you're still paying him as your highest paid wide receiver, there's nothing statistically that Michael Gallup can do this year to warrant the money that he's getting paid. Because unless they give CeeDee Lamb an extension, he's gonna be your highest paid wide receiver. So I expect him to put up wide receiver 3 numbers. Like I expect him to have like 600 yards, 600, 700 yards, like 6 to 7 touchdowns, and it's not gonna be good enough for Jerry Jones. It's not gonna be good enough for Jerry Jones. So I don't think there's anything he can do outside of having a like 800, 900 yard season that's going to save him in Dallas. Yeah, and remember, like I like Michael Gallup, but I never wanted to pay him. Like you already had Amari Cooper. It's all love. You already had Amari Cooper under contract, who was barely older than him. He only like a year older than Michael Gallup, despite being in the league much longer. So you already had him, and in hindsight, you already know he would have took a restructure. So you could have kept Amari Cooper at a lower cap hit, and who was completely healthy, instead of paying an injured Michael Gallup. So yes, they did mismanage that, Dwayne Brown. The Gallup's contract in drafting Tolbert was to counter backlash from the terrible Cooper trade. Well, I hope she comes back, man. Yeah, but I believe, but it should never happen. I don't think that they're gonna live that kind of blowback down anytime soon. That kind of blowback is not worth a quarter. So yeah, we're gonna go to another quarterback prospect real quick. While we're sitting here chopping it up. And remember, we're not going to look at a top prospect. We're just going to look at late round prospects who have the athletic ability to do what Dak Prescott does, even if it's not at the same level. We're going to take a look at Malik Cunningham, quarterback out of Louisville. Very interesting prospect. Now, if you're wondering why his numbers this year are down, it's because of injury. He barely played this season. So, you look at these numbers like, damn, he didn't do anything. But, just to give you an idea who Malik Cunningham is, I'm going to actually give you some of his career numbers. Because I never want you to look at an injury-riddled season from a player and, that be your first impression of him. Desmond Ironman, what's up with you, my boy? I see you. He said he on the way up here. Okay. What's good with you? We're good with you, Desmond Ironman. Appreciate you for coming, showing love, my boy. But yeah, so I don't want you to look at his injury-riddled season and think that that's who he is as a player. Because the year prior, because he's been playing for a long time, he actually been a quarterback since 2017. He redshirted, so he's actually going to be 25 this year. So he played a lot of football. So for his career, he's thrown for 9,660 yards. He has a completion percentage of 62.6. He's rushed for 50 touchdowns, and he rushed for 3,179 yards. He also had a 1,000-yard rushing season in 2021 before he got injured. So yeah, like he's a very interesting prospect. Like he is not Lamar Jackson, but he plays at the same school. He has a relationship with Lamar Jackson. They talk, and they have a very similar play style. So yeah, so when you look at it, overall, the guy had 120 total touchdowns as a college player. He had 120 total touchdowns in his career, over a 60% completion percentage, averaged 8.8 yards an attempt, and he only threw 29 interceptions. Right, so he wasn't a huge turnover machine. But with that summed up, because I don't want you to just look at what he did this last year. We'll take a deep dive. Ran a 4.53, so he is a mobile quarterback. Like I said, he has a very similar playing style to Lamar. So here it is. Physically, Cunningham is a natural athlete who plays with the balance and light feet to float in the pocket. Good, not elite arm strength, but he can easily make the NFL throws with effortless deep passes. Gets the ball out quickly, making split-second decisions. Good short to intermediate level accuracy, demonstrating the ball placement to allow receivers to run after the catch. Athletic quarterback who is a threat to lead the pocket and gain positive yardage at any time. Possesses very good vision, balance, elusiveness, and deceptive speed and power as a runner. Very confident passer and shows good accuracy and feel when in rhythm. Showed better ball placement from past years and throws very catchable passes. Puts too much air in some of his throws and needs to show lower trajectory on deep throws. He picks up yards with his legs when needed. And as you saw, he runs a 4.5, so he had very good speed for a quarterback. Weaknesses: average arm strength. He's quick to lower his eyes and look for a running lane after moving off his first read. Sails throws to each sideline. Receivers make him look good with acrobatic catches. Back foot throws are not accurate. Sometimes trusts his arm too much, trying to stick passes late in a play or when off balance. So again, when you're looking at guys this late, you're just looking for like what you can see. Like he's a good athlete, but he has a good enough arm to play at the NFL level. But he needs to clean up his mechanics, and that's going to be the same thing with everybody we're looking at. That's the same with Max Duggan. That's the same with Dorrance Thompson Robinson. That's the same with Jaren Hall. These late round dual threat quarterbacks or late round because they need to refine their abilities as passers. They need to fix their footwork. They need to fix their throwing motions. They need to, you know, improve their torque by adding their lower body into their throwing mechanics. They have a lot of things they need to fix, you know, to become next level passers. But that is fine because in the style of offense we're playing, we're going to have a run game with Tony Pollard. We're going to implement play action. We're going to implement RPOs and design quarterback runs and different things like that. They will be fine. They will have enough around them to supplement their lack of throwing ability, especially in a backup role. So again, we are just looking at guys who can come in and be better than Cooper Rush. And again, I'm looking at Cooper Rush as an individual player. I know the people that love him are going to point to that 4-1 start, but he only completed 58% of his passes. He only had 5 touchdowns. He led the league in turnover worthy plays as a starter when he was in there, and he threw 3 interceptions. And when you look at his quarterback rating was only at 80. You look at his QBR was 58.7. So him as an individual player, it left room for improvement. So now, you know, I've shown you that. I'm gonna show you some of his highlights. Take a look at some of his highlights, man. And we're gonna look at his best year. But remember, I'm gonna say this every time I put on these highlights. This is not all 22 film. I'm not doing a film breakdown on why these plays happen, on how he processed things, this and that. We are just looking at good plays that he made as a college player. And you see the athleticism right there. First play, you see the athleticism. Blown play, but he still made a play with his legs. And, you know, this is really what I like him for. He is a guy, even though I don't expect him to rush for 1,000 yards in the NFL, he did rush for 1,000 yards this particular season. He ran for 1,000 yards this season. So, you know, when we're talking about a prospect, just based on pure athleticism, I like him. And he can do what, hey, listen, he does everything I want him to do. He can run. He can throw the ball pretty good on the move. So I hope you give him time to build. Now listen, I like DeMeco Ryans. I have no earthly idea though if if he's going to translate out well or not. You know, it's different being being a head coach than being a defensive coordinator. But you know, I do trust his personnel decisions, and I do trust his defensive scheme. But yeah, we're just talking about a quarterback that can be a red zone threat, extend plays, yada yada. I know I sound like a broken record, but you know, I like to keep updating people what the hell's going on, because you know we are we do have new people in the liquor store with us rocking. So yeah, he making some plays now. He damn sure ain't Dan Quinn, Dwayne Brown. He damn sure ain't Dan Quinn. I mean, they gave him a 6-year contract, but you know how that stuff goes, man. Like he have 1 or 2 bad years, hell, they'll get rid of him. Also, I want to take this time while we're watching these highlights to give an update on the raffle. Michael McQuaid, you have 5 entries. DC for Life has 4 entries. Dwayne Brown has 3. Action Pal, Marquetta, Daisy Clark, Michael Lockhart, and Jeffrey have 2. Desmond Ironman, Tupac with a Mohawk, and the Lunatic, y'all have 1. So those are the updated standings with the raffle entries. And remember, anybody that wants to join in and participate, $5 get you an entry into the drawing for a Dallas Cowboy jersey of your choice. We'll be announcing the winner of the drawing on the 25th before I leave out for the draft. So you have before now and then to get your entries in. The only rule is that you cannot see in while I'm not on the show. I want all entries to be reported so I can be transparent with what's going on. Damn Dizzle. Yeah, damn Dizzle, you're right about that, because they got my boy up out of there. They hired him to tank and then fired him. They did him dirty. Who was this wide receiver that took off like that? This from last year. He probably in the damn league right now. I'm up here looking at him. D'Amico was a damn good Mike. Not surprising at how well he calls a defense. See, I like some of the things I see from him. And listen, I know that he's not consistent with any of this stuff. As a passer, I know he's not consistent. But right here, these off-schedule plays with his athletic ability, that actually does translate. His ability to outrun guys and get to the edge. Like we seen slower guys do it. So he's fast enough that you have to. See, that was all him. Where he initially wanted to run, broke down. He bounced to the outside and got out there. It said we need a quarterback that can put pressure on Cooper Rush because he still gets credit for what the defense did over the stretch of games they say he won. Yeah. Like just looking at the overall offensive production, no, he was not good for us. I said you can't complete under 60% of your passes and get credit for us winning. Under 60% of your passes, 5 touchdowns to 3 picks, bottom offensive ratings across the board. Like you can't get too much credit for that. I appreciate him for coming in, but might need to take a page from the 40 Winers run scheme with our Cowboys run game. I actually believe that some of the run concepts they're going to be more reminiscent of what they used to do in LA. Schottenheimer came out of that. He did come out of that division, but a lot of his run schemes are going to look more similar to what Shanahan and them are running over there. Not to the T, because not Shanahan, but McVay. Not to the T, because a lot of what McVay does is on the stretch run, and Schottenheimer is more power. But a lot of the West Coast concepts are going to come off of play action. If Schottenheimer is going to be the brainchild behind the offense, but I definitely do believe that you're going to have a much better run game. Based on Brian Scheimer's pedigree and what he did as an offensive play caller, you're going to have a good run game. If they not even talking about Cunningham, but always talking about that Florida quarterback, it's because of a lot of things. Oh yeah, they do have a great run scheme, no doubt about that. They got a great run scheme and they got a great play caller. I said you can hate somebody, still give them credit. You know what I mean? Like I gotta give them love for that. Like they have a great run scheme. But yeah, man, like Cunningham does not get the same love because of where he played. He played at the ACC. He's a bit older. Like I said, he's going to be 25 in October. He been in college since he was a fifth year senior. So he's been in college since 2017. He redshirted as a freshman. So, like when you think about the level of competition, some of the questions are behind his throwing mechanics, coupled in with the fact that he's 25 years old, like I think he can play. I think the boy can play, but it does make you really see how they pick and choose which players that they like. Yeah, the play calling is going to be key. Well, I'm really curious about the offensive. The offense will be running from a schematic standpoint. From a schematic standpoint, I want to know like how much of what Mike McCarthy was doing in Green Bay is going to be translated over, and how much of what Schottenheimer was doing in Seattle is going to be translated over. Because in theory, they're both West Coast offenses, but we also know that Mike McCarthy liked to spread the field out. When he won his Super Bowl, he had a great tandem of wide receivers that he was throwing to. They had Aaron Rodgers throwing to. With Schottenheimer, those mesh concepts and deep drags and all the other stuff came strictly off of play action most of the time. Yes, his mechanics are horrible. Like I said, they pick and choose who they like though, but he did play in a tougher conference. But it is what it is. I like what I see from the boy though. He made a damn lot of good plays. Whole lot of good plays. All right, finally over with. So what y'all think about him? I like Malik Cunningham. And listen, these are all quarterbacks that you can probably get. Most of these guys have had like 7-round grades and undrafted grades, right? Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Max Duggan. Jaron Hall was the guy with the highest draft grade we looked at. He was only a 5th-round pick. So, out of the 4 guys that we could bring in, like I think that all of them have things they got to work on. They know that's why they're so low on, in the drafting process. But they all have upside. They all have the athletic ability we're looking for. They all will look good in this West Coast style of offense where it's not predicated on them pushing the ball 30 yards down the field. So, I like all of them as prospects. Who honestly wanted Cooper Rush as our quarterback too before he won those 4 games? Nobody. That's why most everybody thought the season was damn near over when Dak Prescott got hurt. No, people don't want to talk about that. But that same people that say that Dak Prescott sucks thought we had no chance in hell of winning without him. So that actually tells you that they actually do think Dak Prescott is the damn good quarterback. Said facts, we ain't drafted one to after 4th round anyway. Facts, bro. And that's why I don't want to waste time looking at a Hendon Hooker. That's why I don't want to waste time looking at these guys with these higher draft grades. Like I think that they'll draft a quarterback in anywhere between 5th and 7th. Anywhere between 5th and 7th. And the fact, and this is the thing, because they are releasing they only have one cut down this year because they are waiting to release guys. All on one day it's gonna be just like a second free agency. So even if you don't get a super great quarterback, so you're telling me Dink and Dak has to learn a whole new? No, it's not an entirely new offense because they're going to still use a lot of the concepts that they've been using. You do realize that like this was the second offense that Dak Prescott had to learn because that was his second offensive coordinator. If you're not familiar with it, from 2016 to 2018, Dak Prescott first 3 years in the NFL, his play caller was Scott Linehan. So he actually learned Scott Linehan's system, and then he learned Kellen Moore's system. So they were not calling the same kind of plays. Like they had similar concepts, but they were not the same. It were not the same schemes, so to say. So yes, Dak Prescott has already learned a new offensive system, and the first year in Kellen Moore's new offensive system, he actually threw 30 touchdowns for the first time. So yeah. Yes, Dak Prescott is one of the best play action quarterbacks in the league. I'm not worried. Fixed offense in line and run game will work good. Yeah. Also, for people that were curious about this, yes, Dak Prescott is rated as one of the best quarterbacks off of play action, and the Dallas Cowboys were actually one of the teams in the NFL that use play action the least in the NFL. Like we were below league average in play action usage. We were also below league average in motion usage under Kellen Moore. So just so you know that. But yeah, Tyler and Tariq, I appreciate y'all for coming over and showing love to the liquor store, man. We gotta get. Hey, listen, man. Like I'm off. I'm free. Like this is up for me. Like this is up. Like I said, like I'm on vacation, so we can get drunk as hell early as hell. So I see y'all, all the degenerates, like I'm a degenerate. We out here day drinking, hanging out in the liquor store, looking crazy. So I appreciate y'all for coming over and showing love, man. So what do y'all think? So I showed y'all like 4 or 5 different guys. I'm gonna go through them. Dorrance Thompson Robinson, Max Duggan, Jaron Hall, Malik Cunningham. Yeah, I showed you 4 guys. So out of these 4 out of these 4 late round quarterbacks, who do y'all think you would prefer? Cause I know y'all had said Max Duggan after I just said Dorrance Thompson Robinson. But out of these 4 guys, given that they all have similar strengths, they all have similar 40 times and similar athleticism, this and that, who do y'all prefer and why? Put it in the chat. We're gonna have some team participation. We're gonna have some team participation in the liquor store real quick. So stop stocking the shelves, stop slapping Eagles fans, stop drinking on the clock for just 1 second. We're gonna have a little team participation. Which one of these 4 quarterbacks that we just looked at do y'all prefer? Dorian Thompson Robinson, Max Duggan, Malik Cunningham, or Jaron Hall? Just put the name in the chat box. I'm curious about what y'all believe. And I'll be honest with y'all, man. I'm still very high on Dorian Thompson Robinson. I'm still very high on the boy. He said, Eastside, y'all are in the process of rebuilding, bro. I don't think y'all will be better, but it won't be enough to make the playoffs. It depends on what everybody else in AFC does. It depends. It's not a very hard division. I like Max because he got his team to national championship game. That is true. Well, it's also like when I'm looking at that, it's also apples to oranges, right? Because I know that Max Duggan has a wide receiver that's going to go in the first round. He has a first round NFL wide receiver playing with him. Well, I know for a fact that Dorrance does not have a wide receiver that's going to go in the first round. Right? I don't even know if he has wide receivers that are going to get drafted. The same thing goes for Jaren Hall. Like, I don't think he has any wide receivers of that pedigree. Also, when you look at Max Duggan, he has an offensive lineman that's going to go in the first round. He has a running back that's going to get drafted in the fourth round, probably ahead of him. Right? He has a bunch of guys that are going to play on Sundays on his team. So, like, while I do give him respect for helping that team get to where they were going, they were loaded with talent. He'll probably be a career backup. Most of these guys are probably gonna be career backups, so that's not even a knock. NFZ, what's up with you, man? I see you coming into the liquor store. And remember, if you slap the shit out of an Eagles fan, you will get 50% off of all items in the store. So please use your discount while we have supplies of Hennessy in the building. Shit. Is it Tyler? I don't know. AFC South is weak, except for the Jags. Well, look, it also going to depend on who all gets drafted to your division, because the Colts have a lot of good draft capital, and they still got maybe the best running back in one of the best running backs in that division. So it's going to depend, man. It's going to depend. Like, one draft can change the outlook of that division. He said, I stay slapping Pigeon fans on the daily. That's what's up, NLZ. So, hey, you're going to get your discount. You're definitely going to get your discount. So what else y'all want to talk about, man? We done talked about what I wanted to speak on in terms of upgrading quarterback too. I already went through the breakdown on why I feel you could upgrade over Cooper Rush. I took the time and gave y'all 4 late round prospects. You don't have to use supreme draft capital on to, get people to get them into the building. So how do y'all feel about them? Deep down, I want a Dallas versus Houston Super Bowl with a Battle of Texas, man. For sure, man. I don't listen. I don't care who we play in the Super Bowl. I just want to smack them around. So I want to smack them around and get number 6. For real. So let me see something. I'm finna shoot West Coast a message to see if we still doing the show. So yeah, like, I don't care who we play. We could play my high school team for all I give a damn. As long as we beat the hell out of them. Like, yeah, we could play a team full of toddlers. We can play the Munstars. It don't matter. As long as we win the game. As long as we win the game and get championship number 6, it don't matter who we line up and play. Hey, shout out to Dwayne Brown for the $5 donation, my guy. That just got you another entry into the raffle. So you now have 4. So let me give y'all an updated raffle. No, let me give you an updated raffle entry since my guy Dwayne Brown just made another donation. So Michael McQuay, you have 5 entries. DC for Life has 4 entries. Dwayne Brown has 4 entries. Marquetta, Daisy Clark, Michael Lockhart all have 2 entries, and so does Action Pal. So those 4 people have 2 entries. Jeffrey also has 2 entries. Okay. The Lunatic has 1. Tupac with a Mohawk has 1, and Desmond Ironman has 1. So all of y'all, no, that's the updated entries for the raffle. For anybody that's late and does not know what's going on, what the hell we're raffling off? I am raffling off a Dallas Cowboy jersey of the winner's choosing. We're going to be doing this drawing up until the 25th. So you have up to the 25th to get your raffles in. And on the 25th, which is the day before I leave for the draft, I will randomly draw a person. Whoever wins, just inbox me. I'm gonna announce the winner. I'm gonna get your mailing information, get your size, and get your jersey, and I'm gonna get it ordered and mailed out to you. So that's how that's gonna work. The only rule is that you cannot send while I'm not live. We are only accepting entries while the live is going on. I want transparency amongst everybody. So yeah, so that's the updates on that. I'd rather play Buffalo. They can't beat us in the Super Bowl. Hey, that would be ironic, man. To play Buffalo again and beat them again to get our first Super Bowl in the last 27 years. So that would be some irony. Houston just needs one Super Bowl, and that will be triple crown for Houston: football, basketball, baseball champion. Yeah, I think y'all won like NHL too, right? The Comets. Yeah, I think the Comets won multiple championships too. So I like that for Houston. But yeah, man. So what else y'all want to talk about, dog? Because I done went through most of the prospects I planned. Now, unless you want to look at some more late round prospects, because I'm really waiting to see if West Coast is finna go live. We still got our regular scheduled show. Because if Cuz still trying to go live, then I have another show. So what are some teams that you see being better than they were last year? Carolina Panthers. The Carolina. It's a WNBA doesn't count. Okay. So the Carolina Panthers should be better than what they were. Okay, so we are not actually going to do a show with West Coast. We're just going to stay live on here, and we're just going to have an extended live. So that's how we rock it. We're just going to have an extended live today. Hey, Blake Hart, I appreciate you for the $5 donation. That just got you entered into the drawing. So I just received it from you. I'm finna go ahead and get you inputted in here. So Blake Hart, booyah, he has one entry. So every time that somebody sends, I got to get the update. Michael McQuaid still had the most entries. Okay, it's too easy. So that's you Blake Hart, my boy. Hey, so you're gonna have to let me know too sometimes, cause it's gonna show up differently on your Cash App. I put you down as Blake Hart, but just verify that you're it's too easy, and I'll change it to that. I'll put Blake Hart / it's too easy, so I know who the hell you are, so I can find you after this. But yeah, updated raffle entries. Michael McQuaid has 5. He said, "What we drawing for, Henny?" Oh, Coach Marv, we are drawing for a Dallas Cowboy jersey of the winner's choice. So from now until the 25th, which is the day that I leave for the draft, we're going to be doing a raffle. So whoever wins is going to get a Dallas Cowboy jersey of their choice. I'll draw the winner on the 25th, which is the day before I leave for the draft. The winner, I'll reach out to them. They'll provide me their size, and they'll provide me with the Dallas Cowboy player they want the jersey of, and then I will get their mailing information so I can pay for it and get it sent to them. So that's what we're doing. We're drawing for a Dallas Cowboy jersey of the winner's choice. So the more entries that you send in, the better chance you have of actually winning it. Okay, cool. So it's too easy. So let me get that updated so I can put both. All right, it's too easy. Booyah. He said, I think Atlanta would be better making a lot of moves. Yeah. If you don't have a quarterback, you don't have anything. It's also really going to depend on what Atlanta does, right? I don't think they did enough to replace. Let me see. I don't think they did enough to actually replace Calvin Ridley. I know they went out and got Drake London, but I'm not a huge fan of his. I need to see more from his development because theoretically they still need a wide receiver. They still need a number one wide receiver. I haven't seen enough from him just yet. Oh yeah. No, actually, I think Chicago will be better. That's actually who I think is going to be better. Like, forget everybody else I said. I think the Chicago Bears will be better because their division has gotten weaker. I think the Vikings have taken a step back with the players that they lost. I think the Packers, especially if they lose Aaron Rodgers, I think they'll take a step back. And they gotten better at the wide receiver position. They got the boy from, hold on, I'm telling you, Foreman work. I hate my work email. Like, I'm on vacation. I ain't worried about nothing work related right now. But yeah, like, they got much better wide receivers. They got a top pick, so they got a top pick where they can add more talent. They added a bunch of good linebackers like Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards. So, like, I think that the Chicago Bears will be better. I think the Chicago Bears will be a 10-win team. I think the Chicago Bears will have 10 wins. I think they end like 10-7, 11-6, something along those lines. But I do think they will end with at least a winning record. Maybe 9-8, but I think the Chicago Bears will be a better team. Barring injury, I think they'll be a better team. Yeah, they got a much better wide receiving core at this point. But yeah, man. Matter of fact, man, let's keep looking because there are some more prospects we can take a look at, man. No, since we're not going to do the regular show, I have time. I got time to spend with you. Long y'all willing to rock, I'm gonna stay on, man. So let's rock. Let's keep moving. Go ahead. Matter of fact, go ahead. If you need to take a water break, go ahead and pull up. We finna start back pulling up, man. You're always supposed to drink water while you're getting drunk. It keeps you from getting too intoxicated and all that other shit. I don't want you going out here trying to fight 20 Eagles fans at one time. He said, thanks, brother. Just love football and Cowboys. Oh, yeah, man. Like, hey, Coach Marvin is a real one, man. I got love for Coach Marvin, man. He's a real solid dude. So if you haven't went and followed Coach Marvin on Twitter, you need to do so, man. Yeah. Actually, matter of fact, that's a good idea. Everybody that ain't follow my boy Coach Marvin on Twitter, you need to go over there and show his page some love. And if you ain't following Hennythemoor on Twitter, you should go and do the same. All right, I'm getting this pulled up. Y'all bear with me. All right. So I'm going to humor y'all. We're going to look. Let's see. What position y'all want to look at next? Y'all want to look at. I didn't even look at enough late round wide receivers. I think y'all might be burnt out on that because I'm getting burnt out on looking at late round wide receivers, man. So about to eat lunch, came home for lunch. Wife calling my name. Hey, you gotta handle business, man. My wife at work right now, so. He said Twitter is too toxic for me, and that me saying that Twitter is toxic. It's toxic as hell. O-line. Really, man, if we look at O-line, I want to look at it like early O-line. So we can either look at early O-line or we can look at late round. We can look at late round tight end. Cause I don't want. Listen, you let Dalton Schultz walk. You said you felt good with Ferguson and Hendershot. right? You drafted Ferguson in the same round. You drafted Dalton Schultz. So I don't want them to go out their way and use a premier pick on tight end. So your choices are early round offensive line or late round tight end. So we're gonna take a quick little vote in the chat. You want to look at early offensive line or you want to look at late tight end? The choice is gonna be all up to y'all, and whatever y'all say, we're gonna rock out with it. Needs to know. So go ahead, let me know something. Everybody that's watching, go ahead and input it. I need to know. Sugar Daddy 1, what's up with you, my boy? Hey, we've been rocking, man. Oh, you want to look at O-lines. All right, so that's 1 for O-line. Do I have 2 for O-line? Do I have 2 for O-line? Let's chop it up, man. Because I'm serious about this, about repairing the trenches. We're going to go a little bit in more. If we do pick online, we're going to go in a little bit more in depth on it. Like we're actually going to look at the scouting reports, and then because nobody has like offensive line porn on YouTube like that, like ain't nobody making a bunch of highlight compilations for a damn offensive lineman. We're going to look at the advanced analytics behind them. Tyler says O-line. Sugar Daddy 1 says O-line. I say O-line, so like F it, we're going to go O-line, man. Says safety late round pick. Coach, I rock with you. We'll look at a safety after we look at this O-line. Like I said, man, I ain't got nothing to do. So we gonna rock. All right. So offensive lineman, booyah. Okay. We're going to start right here with Paris Johnson. I like him a lot. So we're going to go right into Paris Johnson. We're going to look at his strengths. Hold on. I got West Coast calling. Hey, boy, you live in the liquor store, my guy. Talk to me.
Oh, I'm live on the live right
now? Nah, you on the phone with me, man. They can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. Hey, what's up with you guys? Your boy West Coast. I can give y'all a couple minutes of content while I drive to this freaking BMW dealership. My lady light went out on the right-hand side. I don't know. She got some water in there over the weekend, and the bulb went out. They talking about $1 billion. You hear me? That's my morning. You feel me? But yo, what's up with you guys? It's your boy West Coast, and we live. Obviously, we are live in the building. Man, what was you talking about before I jumped on?
Well, the first part of the show, cause I've been on about almost 2 hours now. The first part of the show, we were talking about upgrading the backup quarterback position. So you're not very loud. Hey, also, just in case, I shot you a link. They said they can't really hear you. I shot you a link to see if you can log in with your phone.
I'm driving, so I don't know. I don't really know if it'll be like legit the whole way.
It'll be okay if you go in or out. It doesn't matter. Like hell, you still have been on here, and it'll still be live to your pages. So we're gonna try to get an OG West Coast brought in, man. Said Henny, just look at the Cowboys' first visits. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Cause so like first thing we had looked at was it's in your messenger on Facebook. All right, he's finna try and jump on. I'm gonna read this boy draft report real quick. And then once I hear West Coast ding in, I'm gonna let Ken folk in. We're gonna chop it up. So super smart academically, who was a natural leader both on the field and in the locker room. Finishes and doesn't quit competitor with a positive attitude and leadership traits that coaches admire. Fires off the snap quickly, and Johnson shows the flexibility to get out and seal on reach blocks. He's at his best, however, in the phone booth. Johnson flashes power and nastiness in the run game, always a plus, able to win at the point of attack, and athletic enough to get out as a pulling blocker before landing blocks on the move at the second level. Plays with appropriate wide base and intelligence, instincts and agility to seal the edge, aggressive, extending with power to punch, and looks comfortable in space. Has a strong, flexible core and the ability to absorb and anchor against the bull rush as a pass protector. Has improved footwork and hand placement significantly during the college career, showed ability to be coached. Has an impressive understanding of stunts and delayed blitzes. 5-star recruit with elite athleticism and movement skills. Has the foot speed to stay with the best edge rushers. Power to move opponents in the run game. Reliable and consistent grip and core strength. Outstanding lateral agility and athleticism to mirror defenders. With all that they're saying, right? Your West Coast sound like he's in a hole. Yo, Henny, what's crack? What's good, cuz? I see you, my boy. My boy, Chill Bill, Sports Guru 95. Appreciate y'all for coming through and showing love. The 30 visits in the past really give us the thinking who Cowboys like in the late rounds and undrafted free agents, which is true. Like I said, like some people say, you got to follow the breadcrumbs, man. You follow the breadcrumbs, you might pick up on a trail, my boy. It leads you to what you need to see. So I do agree with you on that 1,000%. 1,000% I agree with you on that. So pretty much what all they were saying is like he's big, strong, athletic, and he's good. Like he's very sound. All right. Sometimes looks a bit underpowered in the run game when it comes to generating movement at the point of attack, and when seeing him struggle to recalibrate at the second level against moving bodies. Height can be a detriment in short yardage. The defender can get under his pads to hold the line. All too often, Johnson simply gets too impatient to sit back in his set, reaching and lunging, generally playing with poor balance. Lets pass rushers get into his body, catching them rather than using his considerable length to deliver a punch. Johnson is going to have some difficulty if he's asked to block on an island early on. Lacks experience as a tackle, having played just a single year there. Lunges into blocks and often looks unbalanced. Needs to improve his weight distribution. Ducks his head, effectively going in blind. Needs to improve the angles, too often allow pass rusher to beat him inside. He's a much better run blocker than pass protector. He needs to develop. So that is the thing though. Like he has not played a lot of snaps at the offensive tackle position. I'm actually finna show you what I'm talking about. I'm pull myself back on the screen, and then I'm going to go in here and pull up his PFF rating. Remember, always take these grading systems with a grain of salt. With a grain of salt, of course. Okay. And now it's time. I got it pulled up. Booyah. My boy said Terrell Johnson, offensive line, outside linebacker from Liberty. Okay. So let's take a look. So there's a thing, like he graded out great. And remember, 2021 and 2020, he was not playing tackle. He was a guard. Cuzzo, talk to me.
Hold on real quick. Let me get my channels up real quick.
Go ahead. And I just turned down the background music so they can hear you.
All right, man. All right, man. So let's get it. We live. I'm live. I have my GPS says I have 10:13. I have 15 minutes.
Okay, so then let's chop it up then, man. Like, hell, 15 minutes is enough time to talk about it. So I'm going to get your opinion on this. Like I said, I've been live for about 2 hours now. And, the first part of the segment, we were talking about upgrading the backup quarterback position. Like, Cooper Rush gets a lot of love for the 4-1 start, but looking at his regular numbers and the offensive numbers, they were putrid. 58 completion percentage, only a passer rating of 80, 5 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, led the league in turnover worthy plays, and the offense was 23rd in points, 27 in total yards, 27 in passing yards, 29th on third down conversions, and 25th in points per drive. So in terms of a prospect
Kellen Moore was in. Kellen Moore was in. Back was not helping him.
at all. So at all, hey, when you think about it now, like, yeah, you got to give Kellen Moore some love for that, because he made shit out of sugar. So
Yeah, he was in his bag. Kellen Moore wasn't helping him do nothing.
So in terms of a prospect that can, and not necessarily like a particular player, what kind of prospect would you be looking at? And I just want to see what you say matches what I think. For a quarterback too, what the prospect got to look like?
Well, first off, your quarterback too needs to look like your first string quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like little brother should always look like big brother. And the only reason why your quarterback two should be quarterback two is because he's not currently better than quarterback one. So off the rip, Dak is an athletic quarterback. He's a guy that moves around in the pocket. He's a guy that moves the pocket. He's a guy that has capability. It needs to be a quarterback that has that. Also, it needs to be a guy that's pretty solid. You know what I'm saying? You don't need no quarterback with any type of history of injuries or anything like that. Why? Because your quarterback currently has that. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't played a full season since 2019. Last 3 years, Dak's missed at least a game. You need a quarterback that's durable. I also need a quarterback that allows, because a backup quarterback takes up a spot, and a smart team tries to find a quarterback that allows them to use them now, like a Taysom Hill. Like Taysom Hill was their backup quarterback, but he just wasn't sitting on the sidelines with a clipboard in his hand. You know what I'm saying? I think part of the reason why Taysom Hill played so good whenever his number was called was because of the simple fact that he had already played like 3 or 4 snaps in the game doing other little things. So I think your backup quarterback needs to be able to come in there and maybe run an RPO and get a quick touchdown, you know what I'm saying, throw his hands up and feel all good about himself, you know what I'm saying?
I do, and that's actually the exact same thing that I said. So I spent the time looking at 4 late round quarterbacks, because listen, I'm not drafting a quarterback in the top 100 because if Dak Prescott messes around and wins an MVP or makes an All-Pro, or even worse, if we win a Super Bowl, you have wasted a top 100 pick, and they are never going to get on the field.
Well, you got to remember you're technically drafting a third quarterback because Cooper Rush is signed for 2 years.
Right. Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, the guy that I'm drafting a guy to beat out Cooper Rush.
So I'm drafting a guy. Honestly, I think my sweet spot for me is 5th round.
Yeah. And listen, I didn't look at anybody past the 5th round. Matter of fact, the guy with the highest grade out of who we looked at only had a 5th round grade. Everybody else, like Max Duggan, people love him. He got a 7th round grade.
Yeah, he's not gonna get drafted. To be honest with you, if you could get Max Duggan in a undrafted free agent, that'd be dope. But I honestly think Max will. You got to remember, we 26th on that list, so I don't know if Max will make it to 26 for on us on that.
Right. So these are the 4 names
of
the guys.
If you can get him undrafted, I would think that would be the perfect scenario, because Max can come in, and I think that. And to be honest with you, I think the Cowboys would actually even use a 6th or 7th round pick on him simply because of the interest that they've already expressed in him. And I think a guy like Max, I think he allows you, like, in the red zone to come out, like, or on a third and 2, he can come in middle of the field, Dak can come out, and we can literally run a freaking power ISO. You know what I'm saying? With the damn quarterback. The running back dives the hole, quarterback runs right behind him.
Exactly. And look,
Cooper Rush is not doing that.
Of course not. And you lost that aspect of the game when he was in there. Like you did not see any of that. There was no quarterback keepers. And listen, because of the athlete he was, they would not have respected him anyway.
Yeah, and think about this: you get a guy that's halfway decent. You can release Cooper Rush. You know, you're gonna eat a couple of dollars, but that ain't really much. You release Cooper Rush, and then you can low key re-sign him as a third as your third quarterback because you know he would your backup quarterback. I would think there's some guys in here that could probably beat out Cooper Rush, and if there is, that means they're cheaper. That means they're all around. That means they're a better prospect. So I think Cooper Rush. I think his job is secure right now, but that if you draft a quarterback in the 5th round, I would think that he should be able to beat out Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush is not a good quarterback. Like I mean, I know he won, but bro, I mean, like we were always saying it, like bro, he's not a good quarterback. Like he's gonna have offers, he's gonna be a starting quarterback. Like bro, no, he's not, bro. He's not a good quarterback. No. Like your defense played the best 5 games of the season, and your offense, he only had to throw the ball 16 times. Like bro, nobody's gonna credit you a win for 16 passes.
Nobody gonna credit you a win for 58% completion percentage either. But you know, like they held on to those 4 wins. But we looked at 4 different prospects. The guy who had the highest grade was Jaron Hall. He was a 5th round pick, played at BYU. Everybody else, you know, including Max Duggan. Max Duggan had a 7th round grade. Dorian Thompson-Robinson from UCLA out there where you at, he had a 7th round grade. Actually, he had an undrafted grade, but he
should be. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not a big fan of UCLA quarterbacks. Shout out to Troy Aikman, but I'm not a big fan of UCLA, USC quarterbacks. Like even the Caleb kid that they got it right now. Like I know he'll. I mean, salute to him, and that's my squad. But I don't know. I really haven't been a big fan of UCLA, USC, or honestly Alabama quarterbacks. They just haven't really done well in the
NFL. Hey, I'm glad Landlord wasn't on here to catch that shot.
That ain't a shot. That's real, bro. I mean, they make great backup quarterbacks, but that's about it.
Yeah, you about right. And listen, you can't even say Jalen Hurts because he had to leave. He had to leave Alabama.
He got drafted as an Oklahoma Sooner. And if you ask him what college he rep, I promise you he is not gonna say Alabama.
Nah, I mean they gave away his job.
Yeah, he benched that dude, man, in the national championship game.
Listen, I understand. Like he came out and said all the right thing. That shit had to be embarrassing. Like I don't know how he recovered from that. But yeah, there's some prospects in there, man. Even like the boy Malik Cunningham from Louisville. So you know, like there are a lot of guys who have athleticism, who can extend plays with their legs, you know, can do this and that. And, you know, they will play well in the West Coast offense because it's not predicated on them throwing the ball 30 yards down the field. There's going to be a lot of quick hitting and breaking passes, you know, check downs to the running backs. They can come in and do that. So, you know, like they will already be 2 times the athlete as Cooper Rush is. And like you said, if you wanted to implement them, you don't want Dak Prescott to take hits, you know, being implemented in the run game. You can have them in on goal line packages. They can keep the ball on an RPO. They can, you know, run the quarterback powers and save Dak Prescott the wear and tear on his body. So, you know, like we identified some guys and they all would not cost anything to get, especially like 5th round down. They're all 5th round down. Some of the guys might not even get drafted, but they are guys that fit the bill for what we're looking for.
Yep. I just came up with a great, ridiculous idea we're going to do for the draft, too. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. What we talking about? Talk to me.
Because Stargazer's not going, bro, to the draft, right? So we could literally have her send us a link, right? And we could go all over different spots on the draft. And we could just go live. And we could just click it and we could just be all over. Man, we about to take the draft over, bro. We about to take the draft over. Listen to me. Cowboys do need to draft a quarterback. And I'm going to tell y'all this right here. No matter what they do, man, HTM Sports, Landlord, Alabama, your boy West Coast is going to be in the building to cover it. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be ridiculous. I need y'all to turn your notifications on. And I need you guys to start making those conscious decisions right now on who you going to watch when it comes to this NFL draft. Are you going to watch guys that are at their house? Or are you going to watch guys that's in the building? You know what I'm saying? Because we gonna be in the building. So make sure you guys have your notifications on, and make sure you guys have your mind ready for the content we about to bring y'all, man. But yeah, man, this my thing, man. Like I'm as much as I feel that the Dallas Cowboys, I'm thinking that the Cowboys will draft a quarterback after the fifth because they will have figured out a way to extend Dak Prescott and get out from under that $59 million. But if they don't feel that they're going to be able to get out from under that $59 million, they're definitely going to draft a quarterback before the fifth round. And the reason being is because you need that leverage, against. But I mean, just real luck. They have no leverage on Dak right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think. I think that's what's going to be a really really telltale about this quarterback position is if they draft a quarterback in the top 100 pick in the top 100, then I don't think they feel that they're going to be able to get a contract with that, get something that they feel is going to be feasible. Now, if they draft after the fifth, then I'm under the impression that they're in win now mode, and they're going to extend that because you get what I mean, Any that's another thing that's going to tell a lot too about when the Cowboys draft quarterback too, is because if they draft, like I said, if they draft a quarterback early, that definitely makes me feel like, damn, the Cowboys probably don't either feel like they can or they just don't want to. Because think about this, bro, like they have not even been these guys that they've been letting walk. They have not been offering them contracts, bro. They've just been flat out letting guys walk.
Mm-hmm.
Not trying to trade them or anything, bro. Just letting them walk.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, but hopefully
So
they
I'm
can
like,
get it done.
that's another thing about this. That's another thing about this quarterback position. Quarterback is backup because the guy that they draft, I don't think they're gonna foresee him as a backup.
Well, this is the
And
thing, though.
But I gotta get out of here though because I'm about to pull up in the service center.
All right, well, here, handle up, man. I appreciate you coming over, showing love to the liquor store, my guy.
Yes, sir.
So Ken Folk is out, man. Like West Coast came over and showed love to the liquor store for a quick little second. I appreciate him for doing so. But yeah, man. So I said we touched on the backup quarterback situation. You know how I feel about it. I think that they should take a late round one because listen, even if you draft a quarterback, you have no leverage in it. And they try to play hardball like that. $59 million really might prevent them from signing, other key guys that they need to. So the best thing to do would get an extension done with Dak Prescott and not allow that to be, something, that they try to leverage against them, do this and do that. But I don't think they should take a backup quarterback with a top 100 pick. I think it's a waste of a pick, especially when you're trying to compete. He said, "Did I listen to it? I had seen part of it, man. I didn't watch all of it because I was already high on the board Dorian. Well, after I get off the thing, I'll go back and look at it in its entirety. What's good with you, Craig? I appreciate you coming over, showing love to the liquor store, my guy. Yeah, everybody, please hit the like button. Please hit the share button. And if you ain't joined the channel on YouTube yet, please come over to HTM Sports and hit the subscribe button. All your love and support would be greatly appreciated. Also, I know y'all see the little banner like floating across at the bottom of the screen. It's not. I know y'all in here drunk with me, but it's not a figment of your imagination. We really doing a $5 raffle for a Dallas Cowboy jersey of the winners choosing. We're doing it from now till the 25th. So you got to the 25th to get your entries in for the jersey, and on the 25th we'll draw a person, and they'll win it whatever Dallas Cowboy jersey they want, and I will get it mailed to them. So you have till then to do it. Only rule is you can only send when I'm live. You can only send while I'm live, so I can get everybody, up to date, information on it. If I don't know if Hooker will be there in the second round. He probably won't be there in the second round. Like Hooker is probably the third best quarterback in this draft, regardless of his injury. I feel like he's better than Will Levi. I feel like right now he's a better passer than Anthony Richardson. So I think it would have been a no-brainer. him being the third quarterback off the board if he did not tear his ACL. So, I think a team like the Vikings, would draft him. They have a year left on Kirk Cousins' deal. I don't foresee them re him up for a long-term extension. So I could definitely see that. It says Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett also has a 7th-round grade on him, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he has a very late-round pick. Nobody talks about Corey Trice, cornerback from Purdue. I'm gonna have to check him folk out. Let me finish looking at this offensive line real quick. Let's chop it up about this offensive line real quick, man. So, booyah. We on here looking at Paris Johnson again. Like I said, 2022, this is the only season. All right, hey, shout out to the Lunatic for the $5 donation. He just sent another $5 for the raffle. So that moves him up. The Lunatic now has 2. So the Lunatic, you now have 2 entries for the draft. Michael McQuay has 5. DC for life. Anton Cole World sent $10 for the raffle. Antonio Cole, okay. So you now have $2 for the raffle. You got 2 entries to the raffle. Antonio Cole, $2. You had 2 entries. Okay, let me give these updates real quick. Michael McQuay has 5 entries. DC for Life has 4 entries. Dwayne Brown has 4 entries. Action Pal, Marquetta, Daisy Clark, Michael Lockhart, The Lunatic, Antonio Cole, and Jeffrey have 2 entries. And then Desmond Ironman, Tupac with a Mohawk, and Blake Hart have 1 entry. So that's the updates for that so far. And again, we will do the raffle on the 25th. Hey, Grady Dunaway, what's good, my boy? I appreciate you for coming over, showing love. Charlie Jones, what's good with you, my guy? Said Cole. Okay, my boy, Cole. Okay. I appreciate you for the love and support, my guy. Let's see. Also, if you have not already joined HTM Sports on YouTube, go on there, hit the like button, to subscribe button. So when I do go live again, because right now I think a lot of y'all are watching from over on West Coast page. If you want to keep track of the raffle, come follow on my page on YouTube so you can keep up with it. So just go over there, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notifications. You'll know when I'll go live, and we'll be doing the raffle from now to the 25th. So just so I hate for somebody to have donated from coming from over there and don't even see when we announce the raffle. So if you haven't already joined the channel, please come over and do so you can stay up to date on everything that's going on and to get this fire-ass content. Tremaine Degenerate. My boy Texas T. Okay, my boy. Texas T just sent one for his donation. So Texas T now has an entry. Oh, yeah. So Texas T has one. Okay. Richard Berry, what's good with you, my boy? I appreciate you. All right, so let's jump into this offensive line stuff because I'm high on Paris Johnson because I like his versatility. Because it's one thing to be okay at something and okay at this. Look at how he graded out. He was damn good playing guard. All right, these 2 seasons rated out as a 79.1, and he was damn good as a tackle this year, rated out as an 83. And look, these are his snap breakdowns right here. He was exclusively a left tackle this year. Exclusively. He was exclusively a right tackle the year before, and then he dibbled and dabbled a little bit in 2020. He didn't take that many snaps. He only had, if my math is correct, these are 26 total snaps in 2020, but they were some damn good quality snaps apparently. But he was solidified as a right guard in 2021, and he was solidified as a great left tackle in 2022. So when you're talking about guys that have versatility, depending on what you perceive him as at the next level, it allows you more options of what to do. He said, "Yeah, baby, and I'm gonna win. I cheat." Hey, I love the energy, my guy. I love the energy, Texas T. Notification isn't working as good as it should. Yeah, Brian, I've been on here for like 2 hours. Maybe you were asleep when the notification came on, because I've been on for about 2 hours, my guy. Steve Avila. We're gonna talk about him next too. Because he gives like Perry Johnson gives you a lot of versatility. Because there are some people that really love Tyler Smith at the left tackle of the future, and then there are people that really love Tyler Smith at the left guard of the future. Bringing in Perry Johnson allows you to play Tyler Smith at wherever you want to play him at, because he was amazing at both positions. He was amazing as a guard. He's taken, and even though he was playing right guard, he's a good enough guard to play on the left side as well. And you know that his footwork is good enough to play left tackle. Richard Berry, I appreciate you for the love and support, coming over and subscribing to the channel, my guy. Thank you for looking out, my boy. But yeah, so it gives you the versatility to put him wherever you want to put him at. Nah, all my YouTube notifications been tripping the last couple of days. Yeah, YouTube does that, man. YouTube does that. YouTube definitely does that. But if you really envision on YouTube and Twitter, it's HTM Sports, Coco. If you type in HTM Sports on YouTube, you'll see my you'll see my logo. It'll be a cartoon version of me with HTM Sports in front of it. So you go on YouTube and follow there, you'll find me like that. On Facebook, if you're on Facebook, it's going to be Hennythemoor on Facebook. So on Facebook, it's Hennythemoor. It said, "Why don't you come on Final Word? You were very knowledgeable about football." Whenever I get an invite, man, I'll come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I fool with balls. That's my guy right there. So we'll work something out. So YouTube is an Eagles fan. Ain't they an Eagles fan, man? They hating. They slick hating. But yeah, so like on YouTube is HTM Sports. Like how it says on the chat, and then on Facebook is Hennythemoor, like what it says on the Cash App. So that's how you find me. And also, it's weird. Like there's a white guy who's has a similar thing. It's called Hold the Mayo. Of course, I'm not white, so that's not me. It'll be it'll be me with a cartoon avatar on YouTube if you're looking for the page. But I like his versatility, and I like how he stacks up, man. Like there's a lot of things that you can and can't teach, but you can't teach being 6'6", 313 pounds and moving the way that he moves. Like his arm length, like he has elite level athletic traits that it's really hard to find. And like when you factor in he's only 21 years old, and then you also factor in the fact that he brings the versatility to play both guard and tackle at a high level. It opens up a lot. So like he's a guy that can be a starter for a long time at the NFL level, just based on how he grades out. Antonio Cole, hey, I see you, my guy. My boy that came over and found me on YouTube. I appreciate the love and support, my guy. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. And like I said, you'll be able to keep up with what's going on with the raffle as well this way. So we just chopped up about the boy Perry Johnson. Now we're finna go and look at another offensive lineman. We're gonna look at a better offense. We're not necessarily a better offensive lineman, but we're gonna look at a different one. The word I should use is realistic, because I think that I don't necessarily think that Perry Johnson is going to make it down to where the Dallas Cowboys are. I don't necessarily think he's going to make it down to us. But this is a guy you don't necessarily have the flexibility, the overall flexibility at the position. But this is a guy that I think has a realistic shot of making it to the Dallas Cowboys. And it's going to be Broderick Jones, who is a tackle out of Georgia. He also has very good size and length. And I'm going to reshare the screen for y'all again. Booyah. All right, boom. So we're right here looking at the boy Broderick Jones. Broderick Jones is from Lithonia, Georgia. 6'5", weighed in at 311 pounds. Ran a 4.97, which for a guy who's over 300 pounds, that is not bad. Pretty damn good athlete if you look at everything. 30-inch vertical at 300 pounds is great. Mid first round grade. And they say he's the third best tackle in this year's draft. So let's look at everything. He got a laundry list of stuff they say about this boy, so I like that. Has strong arms and a powerful grip, and Jones displays the core strength and leg drive that allows him to create movement at the line of scrimmage. An agile mover who puts his length to good use, using his hands aggressively and landing solid initial punches. Jones can move to the second level as a run blocker with the coordination and balance to hit moving targets. Cerebral player, quick to react to twists and stunts up front, and he shows an excellent understanding of angles when moving out as a run blocker. Shows a good feel for combo blocks, and he displays good quickness and flexibility when moving to the second level, capable of sealing the backside on reach blocks. In the run game, he explodes off the line of scrimmage and consistently gets out to the second level to do damage. Possesses great grip strength and keeps the grip even when imbalanced. Crazy speed for a tackle. Has the skills developed from a basketball background to split out and play tight end. That's actually crazy to think about. He's that good of an athlete. Now, I don't think he can do no shit like that at the NFL level. I'm not gonna sit here and even lie to you, but you know, you know how we get cute sometimes. You know how we throw touchdowns to tackles on little gadget plays from here to there. So I guess he could do that. Ricky Scott, what's good with you, man? Appreciate you for coming over, showing love to the channel, my boy. Definitely appreciate it. All right, Richard Berry. Yeah, I seen that, my boy. I appreciate you for subscribing to the channel, man. Thank you for the love and support, my guy. But yeah, I definitely don't foresee that as being something that's a selling point because I don't give a damn about him catching passes as a tackle. But it's cool that he has that kind of athletic ability, right? So that's something to think about. All right. Outstanding hand grip strength enables him to be an elite pass protector, which we need. Didn't allow a single sack at left tackle in the entirety of 2022. Physical and finisher mentality. He's super strong, as you would expect for a 5-star recruit. He's able to ragdoll defenders. Smart players with elite specialty awareness. Ability to act as a bumper if left uncovered. Punishes interior defensive linemen. Elite core strength. Uses momentum to fuel violent rotations. High level flexibility to quickly swivel. Able to match edge rushers, direction changes, and quickly stop them in their tracks. So these are his weaknesses. He got a long thing. Like, are they nitpicking? I don't know. But let's see. Let's read some of this stuff off. He only had 22 starts in college, so let's get it out the way. Has the traits to improve, but Jones gets impatient in his set, lunging and reaching, and generally playing with poor balance at times. Jones is inconsistent with his kick slide. So just something technical. He needs to work on his technique and pass protection, using more consistent leverage and continuing to move his feet. But what I will note, right? They say that he needs to improve his technique, and they still have him listed as an elite pass protector. So just based off his raw ability alone, despite lacking some of the fundamentals that you would like to see in his pass protecting, right, in his stance and probably drops and things like that, they still consider him an elite pass protector. So that's not that's actually scary from a prospect. Like you have bad form and you're still considered one of the best at doing what you're doing. Say respect your opinion at number 26. We'll talk about that in just a second because shit, listen, if he's there at 26, like you run to the podium and you win. Like if either one of these two guys that we just talked about, if Perry Johnson is there at number 26, or if this boy Broderick Jones is there at 26, you run to the podium, you turn in your card and you run off like you just committed Grand Theft Auto. Like you run off from the podium like you just robbed the bank. That is amazing value, especially at a pristine position. Like when you think about the positions that make the big money, it's the quarterbacks, it's the left tackles because they protect the quarterbacks, it's the edge rushers because they get after the quarterback, and then it's the wide receivers and now the corners. Like the guys that are instrumental to the passing game and pass defense make that real good money. Yeah, like send him to Duke. Like you got a guy. Listen, you got a guy in the area that already trains up these offensive linemen. Like Duke gonna get them right. Like when you just look at some of these guys' raw athletic ability, like that's what you got specialists for. That's what you got. Unless you got an NFL offensive line coach, then you got Big Duke they be training these guys in their spare time. So you got all the assets in the world to improve offensive line play. So like that, like the things like these are none issues. Needs work, yeah. Like as an outside chance to stick at left tackle, but he might actually fit better at right side or kicking to the guard spot. We'll see. Stops his feet after initial contact, relying on length, but allowing the defender to get the corner or spin inside. I already mentioned he only had 22 starts. He did not protect his chest and core, leading to inefficient balance. Leans and bends at the waist, causing balance issues. Technique is not polished, looks raw, gets over aggressive at times, struggles to maintain leverage through the across reps, lacks some drive as a run blocker, much better in pass protection. Too tall off the snap, making enabling. Needs to be. Well, I'm not worried about none of that. I'm not worried about none of that. So listen, like to be fair, like the scouting report says what the scouting report says because you put out film showing this stuff. I'm not knocking it. But in our situation, with the assets that we have at our disposal to improve the fundamentals and technique of offensive linemen, this is a non-issue. You just got a brand new offensive line coach in. You got you got Big Duke you got Big Duke out there in the area that's already works with a majority of our offensive linemen. What you do not have is guys with these kind of skill sets just hanging around. Like if he falls to number 26 for some odd reason, let's say there's a run at wide receiver, or there's like multiple runs at quarterback, or this and that, then there's a very good chance that he falls to you, at pick number 26. And he is a guy, listen, I know he's raw, but he was good enough to help the damn Georgia Bulldogs win a national championship, was he not? So, I like him as a prospect. And, for the crowd that says that Tyler Smith should be a left guard, this allows you to move Tyler Smith back to left guard. This allows him to play the left tackle position. And you go on from there. Yeah, like all those things can be fixed. Like what? Listen, it'll be different if they said that he's under too small for the next level, or there was something off the field like wooty woo this or that. But we can fix all this. We can fix that. And what's telling about it, they still believe that he's elite despite not having the perfect mechanics or anything like that. Parsons and Diggs want Addison. He's slipping bad. Hell, I wanted Addison at one point. But this is the thing. I'm torn between this because of overall positional value. Like overall positional value. I don't think there is going to be I don't think there's going to be tackles, that can come in and give me the kind of production that he can in the later rounds. I think like the ready to play guards are going to be, in the first round. Even though I think Jordan Addison is one of the best players in this draft, I think that the very next round I can get Morphin Mims and I would still be happy. Right? Because it's going to be a guy that's probably going to be your fourth wide receiver to start off anyway. Fourth or fifth wide receiver. So I think that guys like Marvin Mims in the second round, or maybe somebody like Trey Palmer in the fourth or fifth round, right? There are like a ton of options at wide receiver that I would be happy with. Like I'd be smiling ear from ear with some of these late round prospects at the wide receiver position. I don't necessarily feel the same way about the tackle position. Like I think like the cream of the crop is in the first round. The guys that you need to get be a day one starter or a dare, and then after that is a steep drop off. So it's and listen, like it really also comes down to who's available. Like there are realistic possibilities where none of the guys that I give a damn about on the offensive line are there at 26. So in that regard, then I wouldn't take an offensive line first round. If these guys we're looking at are gone, then you wouldn't take a offensive lineman in the first round. You would take a skill position, but vice versa, there is also a realistic chance that all of these good wide receivers are gone. There's a possibility that all the good wide receivers are gone, and then there's a couple of offensive linemen there. You take the best one available. So it depends on how everybody else drafts, right? It's just really going to depend on how everybody else drafts and who was all there at 26. Facts. Everybody has not done so. Please hit the like button. Please hit the share button. And if you have not joined the channel, you ain't joined, got a membership at the liquor store, please hit the subscribe button. We rocking, man. We rocking and we rolling. I think hey, listen, outside of my damn like watch parties, like this is like one of the longest shows I ever did. Like we're at 2 hours and 37 minutes so far. So I appreciate y'all for keeping me company as we go through these offensive linemen, my guy. So yeah, so that's a non-issue for that. Like I really like him as a potential prospect. So let's see. Let's go look at some more offensive linemen. So I'm going to ask y'all because I know hey, anytime, man. I gotta keep y'all, up to date. Keep y'all up to date. Also, Desmond, you have one entry. If you want to increase your odds, it's only $5 per entry. So you want to increase your odds in trying to win the free Dallas Cowboy jersey. You still have time. So in between now and the 25th, you can send more entries to improve your chances. Lady Hernandez said, "What's up? What's up? I appreciate you for showing love to the liquor store. I appreciate you." So yeah, so let's take a look at this next offensive lineman. And this is a guy, that actually is already a 30 visit. We already talked about him. And it's going to be Steve Avila. And really and this is the thing though, right? Like I'm torn on this because I don't know if it varies, man. Because like some people, and it's really the issue is not really us. It's what's up with you, Vincent Harper? I see you showing love. The issue is not really us. It's the wild inconsistencies and where they have him ranked. There are some places that have him ranked as a first round talent. This particular site and numerous others have him listed as a late second round talent. So that is also another thing for me because I don't necessarily know if he's a first round pick. Like I like a lot of his intangibles. I like a lot of his athletic prowess. I like his size. I like his versatility. He has the ability to play both guard and center. But like I don't know if he would be worth pick number 26, which also changes how I view drafting. Because if there's a realistic shot of me getting Steve Avila in the second round and solving my trenches problem, then it also changes how I draft at number 26. Because I can then theoretically draft like a wide receiver that falls in the first round if Steve Avila is there for me in the second. So let's just take a look. So see, he has a late second round grade according to this site. But then, like I said, other sites have him listed as a first round talent. He was all Big 12 in 2021. He was second team all Big 12 in 2021 as well. He had an honorable mention for all Big 12 in 2020. Okay. Coordinated when moving to the second level as a run blocker. Sorry about that. I had a call, but I'm on a live right now, so I have to keep rocking. Coordinated when moving to the second level as a run blocker, capable of landing blocks on the move. Shows very good vertical speed, very quick getting to the second level in the run game. Has a very solid athletic physique and prototypical size for the position. Standing 6'3", 332 pounds. So he's a big nasty man. Like he got the size and the overall weight that you're looking for at either the center or the guard position, wherever you envision him at. DP said, "I love Avila feet, but he doesn't have the pop and move that you need. I think he will need a year in the weight room, which is understandable, but I don't see the want to finish his blocks." And that's the thing, man. Like that's why we're gonna put these guys with Duke. We're gonna get them with the offensive linemen. We're gonna get them in an off-season weight training program. And the beautiful thing about it, as a guard, he'll be playing beside Tyler Smith. And listen, like I am actually the guy that prefers Tyron Smith being the left tackle and Tyler Smith being the left guard. But the way it's moving, the way the Dallas Cowboys are talking, that's why I'm sitting here talking about offensive guard. That's why I'm sitting here talking about offensive tackle. Because they have made this extremely hard on me to grasp what the hell they're trying to do. It doesn't really make sense to me, but I just have to educate myself, on these offensive tackles and guards because of the unknowns. So let's take a look. Because my boy said his feet can get heavy. So let's see. As a solid, okay, very versatile prospect who has played all 2022 at left guard, and then he played 2021 at center. Okay. Shows a good initial burst after the snap with the ability to sink his hips and generate movement. He's a heavy and savvy pass protector capable of making calls and setting protections at the line of scrimmage. Has the strength and power to handle bull rushes. He anchors well. Elite size and power firing off the line of scrimmage and capable of creating movement in the run game. Hands are outstanding. Has strong grip. Run game plays with elite power as a drive blocker, natural knee bender. Plays with good leverage despite his taller frame. Surprisingly good mover for his size, showing fluidity and flexibility when blocking on the second level. Showing some nastiness to his game when Villa will sustain blocks through the whistles, driving when it's in the phone booth. Has a habit to panic on reaching blocks, lunging, grabbing rather than trusting his athleticism. Lateral movement skills aren't elite, So I can see what you mean by heavy feet. It's particularly susceptible to stunts. He'll have to some trouble with quickness as a pass protector. Needs to make better use of his hands and often stops his feet once he makes initial contact as a pass protector. Has shown he struggles to pick up speed rushing moves. At times, he looks hesitant when facing stunts and twists. Quickness is a little limited, as is his change of direction. So I can see what y'all mean by that. He even said so in his scouting report in so many words, right? Let's see. Jake Hayner from Fresno State is going to be a steal. Sup from Sacramento. I see you, Dooley the Bully. I see you, my boy. Okay, don't make no sense to me either. Yeah, Benny, like I'm confused on why the hell they because you listen, my issue is you went out of your way to restructure Tyron Smith instead of cutting him. You went out of your way to do that. And then instead of putting him back where he is a Hall of Famer, because he is a Hall of Fame left tackle. Last time you saw him play left tackle, he was still one of the better ones to do it. You put him at right tackle last year. And I understand you may not want to stunt the growth of Tyler Smith, but right now you putting Tyron Smith anywhere else is holding back the offensive line from what they can be as a unit. Like I can't let one player, you know, be to the detriment of the entire team. I would hope for that to be the case. I would rather for it, like my boy Keystone said, he said McCarthy raising confusion. He not showing his hand. Yeah, I can see that. But, I want that to be intentional. Him just throwing the smoke screen. I want him to have an actual plan. So, I want to have an actual plan. But, if this is not an actual plan, they just throwing shit, at the wall to see what sticks, then I'm concerned. Hey, what's up with you? What's up with you, my boy? I appreciate you for showing love. Hey, not out. If you ain't already joined the YouTube page, come on over to YouTube and hit the notification button, man. Hit the notification, hit the subscribe button, my boy. Same for you too, Benny. Benny, if you ain't already joined the liquor store, come on into the door, man. We all here getting drunk in broad day talking about the damn Dallas Cowboys. So come on over. It's HTM Sports on YouTube. Come on over, hit the subscribe button for me. Come join the channel. Join the channel. Come show some love to me, my boy. But yeah, so like, hopefully that pays dividends in the end. I'm not gonna worry about it too much because it is only April the 6th. A lot of moving parts going on right now, but it is what it is. But speaking of Steve, though, real quick, I'm finna. He said he already in the liquor store. Bet there. I appreciate you for the support, my guy. Steve Harrison, what's good with you, my boy? I appreciate you for the love and support. So yeah, let's take a look at it though, man. I'm finna look at some of Steve's advanced numbers according to PFF. And listen, I like the kid. He been politicking to play for the Dallas Cowboys. So let's take a look at him. Let's take a look at his advanced numbers. You say I don't think Tyron would have been back. Cowboys make you drunk with some of the decisions they make. But they still my team. I love them. It's just like an abusive relationship. Like, I keep coming back. They keep telling me they're gonna do better, and they keep beating the hell out of me when I walk my ass through the door. It's a very abusive relationship with being the Dallas Cowboys. All right, so this is how he graded out overall his offensive snap counts. His snap counts against the run, pass, sacks allowed, hits, hurries, so on and so forth. What I like, he only allowed 4 sacks his entire collegiate career over 3 years. And this was at varying different positions. All right. And this year he played over 1,000 offensive snaps and did not allow a single sack. He allowed 9 hurries. He only allowed 2 hits, but not a single sack. He took majority of his snaps at left guard. He took 1 snap at left tackle. He took 7 snaps at center, and he took 1 snap at right guard. No snaps at all at right tackle. Rated out overall as a 71 overall. As a run blocker, still a passing grade, 66.6. But as a pass blocker, he was outstanding. He graded out as an 83.6. He had a zone grade of a 74, gap grade of a 56. So he had pretty solid numbers across the board. Charlie Jones, I appreciate you for the love and support. Thank you for coming over and showing love to the channel. Hey, Michael Trejo, what's good with you, my boy? Thank you for coming over, showing love to the channel, my guy. We need to really need a big back or backfield. Yeah, I would like to get a big back. So there are numerous options at the at the guard position and at the tackle position. Hey, my boy, the original said he's still here and we still rocking, man. Still here. Hey, we still rocking then, man. It's going on almost 3 hours. But no, we still in here. As Tyron Smith move boggles my mind. Tyler should move to guard for now. I agree. Give me about 4-5 seconds, man. I'm finna go over here and pull me up some water. I'm trying to take a quick little water break. So give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back on the stream, man. As a matter of fact, while I'm gone, Henny Dalton Kincaid is coming. Y'all going to be pissed. Boy, I'm gonna break. Boy, I'm gonna be done punch somebody at the draft. Don't get me talking like that. In fact, let me go get some water real quick, man. I'll be right back. All right. Yeah, like you threw me for a curveball talking about some Dalton Kincaid. I almost, hell no. Dude, let's not do that. But yeah, so I'm high on all 3 of those guys. And Steve Avila is a big name that people have been talking about. He played right here at TCU. He was a 30 visit. He been campaigning to come and play for Dallas. But I think there are some quality, offensive linemen in the first part of the draft. But like throughout the rest of the draft, like I don't think there's a lot of guys in there, that can come in and supplant anybody. Chris Graham, rumor J is in 4.55, 4.6 pro day. Well, he might fall, but we all know the 40 times in wide receivers not the end all be all. Right? Because Keenan Allen ran like a 4.7, Dez ran a 4.5, CeeDee Lamb ran a 4.5, Michael Gallup ran a 4.5. Who else that's noticeable? Right, that's not particularly fast. Michael Thomas ran like a 4.56 or something like that. So like 40 times don't mean a hill of beans, honestly. Like if you can get out there and create separation, you can play. You can play at the next level. It's gonna be more about your route running in your hands, over like overall running in a straight line for 40 yards. So 40 times don't really move me like they can, folk. Unless I'm talking about like a particular kind of wide receiver. Cause like JSN, like he wins with his route running. I don't see how Tyler took guard, not the move. That's why we talking wide receiver and tight end. We have three of each we like. And this is the thing. It makes all the sense in the world because I want y'all to just rewind back to last offseason. The projected starting line for the Dallas Cowboys was Tyron Smith at left tackle, Tyler Smith at left guard, Tyler Biadasz at center, Zach Martin at right guard, and then Terrence Steele at right tackle. So that was the original plan at offensive line. The only reason that was not the offensive line moving forward was because of Tyron Smith's injury. So again, it makes no sense to me that the Dallas Cowboys aren't going back to their original plan. Action Pal, what's up with you, man? I appreciate you for coming over to the liquor store and getting drunk with me, my lope. Appreciate you for the love and support, my guy. So, like that was the offensive line they were planning on. So, like, I agree with y'all. It doesn't make any sense to me, why they're trying to reinvent the wheel and not bring him in to do this and do that. It makes no sense at all, brother. Yes, I do see Jalen Tolbert bouncing back. I see Jalen Tolbert bouncing back in such a way that you may not even need to draft a wide receiver in the top 100 because there's several wide receivers that will be in the later rounds that can come in and fill a role. But Jalen Tolbert, if getting an opportunity with his skill set, his athleticism, he could mess around and supplant Michael Gallup if he's not careful. So I feel real confident in Jalen Tolbert. The boy, listen. If you didn't know his name was Jalen Tolbert, and I randomly told you, hey man, they're this prospect this year, man. This boy is 6'3". He run a 4.4. He had 1,400 yards, man. He averaged damn near 20 yards a catch. He was going crazy, dog. Like you would love him. If I just came and told you that, right? Like y'all be like, hell yeah, man, let's get him. Well, that's Jalen Tolbert. That's what that boy did his last year in college. He had over 1,400 yards, 8 touchdowns, over 18 yards of reception. Was one of the more dynamic players in the entire country. So let's give him time. Like he played in a bad system that did not really utilize the kind of skill set he brought because he was working over guys in practice. It never translated to the game, but it's a lot that he had to learn: the option routes, the stop routes, this overly complicated offensive system. So I think just the scheme change is going to help him immensely. What do you think of all these coaching changes? This could be problematic. Well, this is the thing, right? Mike McCarthy is going to be the one calling the plays. Brian Schottenheimer, even though he wasn't in this particular role, he was already with the team. He was an analyst for us, so he's been in the building. People know him. Like Scott Tolzien is like the only other new acquisition, And I think it's going to be on the offensive side of the ball. I think it's going to be more just the Mike McCarthy show when it comes to actual play calling, actually installs this and that and the third. Also, like when you look at our offensive linemen, we needed a new offensive line coach because we look at how we ranked out in pass protection. We were a bottom unit, in pass protection the last 2 or 3 years. So it was time for to get a new offensive lineman. So while there is always the possibilities of running into growing pains, in terms of getting used to a new system or getting used to a new coach, like the benefits, realistically, outweigh the outweigh the negatives because the guys that got fired deserve to get fired. Like Kellen Moore, he deserved to get fired. The offensive line coach deserved to get fired. I mean, and whether it's fair or not, like they got the offensive, they got the quarterback coach out the way. They did all that. So like the guys that lost their jobs sort of deserved it. So I can't see that's sort of the thing. Like I can't praise them for making the right call in terms of getting rid of coaches I don't think did their jobs, and then be fearful about the guys they bring in. I said Mike McCarthy spent 4 hours talking interceptions and how he wants Dak to change his perspective going forward. Tozing played with Mike 8 years. Dak will have MP year if it's only one. If he's the only one reading. Okay. Let's say like, and honestly, man, we just have to be positive about it at this point because it's happened now. I said the coaches that lost their jobs, kinfolk. Lady, I ain't never said anything about Zeke. I said the coaches that got fired deserve to lose their jobs. Zeke don't coach. So no. Dwayne Brown said he back. My boy said he back in full and is in full effect. All right, I appreciate that, man. But hey, I've been on here for 3 hours, man. I've been on here for 3 hours rocking with y'all. I'm finna give y'all the update on the raffle, and then I'm finna depart from y'all for a little bit. I got a couple of things I got. Now it's all good. It's all love. Don't even worry about it. Yeah, it's all good. But I'm gonna give y'all these updated standings on the raffle, and then I'm gonna get on out of here. So as it stands, Michael McQuaid is still leading. He has 5 entries. DC for Life has 4 entries. Dwayne Brown has 4 entries. All right. Then Action Pal, Marquetta, Daisy Clark, Michael Lockhart, The Lunatic, Antonio Cole, and Jeffrey have 2. Blake Hart, Texas T, Desmond Ironman, Tupac with a Mohawk, they all have 1. So that is the updated standings on the raffle. All right, so that's where everybody stands. So far, Michael McQuaid has the best odds of winning because he has the most entries. Then followed by DC for Life and Dwayne Brown, who both have 4. So you think Nussmeyer had anything to say to Dak he's going to get coached for the first time since Kittner this year? Probably so, man. Hey, I appreciate you, Benny Stanley. But yeah, man, so that's how everything stands right now. I will be back later on to do another show later on today. So just tune in, turn on your notifications. Supposed to be doing the show with landlords tonight when he gets off of work. So I appreciate y'all for everything, coming over, supporting the liquor store. Remember, I always tell y'all to drink and drive responsibly. But if you do see an Eagles fan in the road, you do have my permission to run their ass over. Y'all already know what it is, man. Thank y'all for the love, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.